welcome to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. Some great games to look forward to today. 7 colour on Open All Mics. I'll bring you all the goal news from right across the country. Let's then get to the game where there's an option of commentary. That game is at Tynecastle. The league leaders Hearts are home to Dundee. Alan Preston on Open All Mics duty for us there. Alan, I imagine just like most weeks, a real buzz around the stadium.
There is, yes, a real great atmosphere, Kenny. And all credit to Dundee, they've sold out their allocation as well, so full packed Tynecastle. It's brilliant, the sun's come out, lovely day for football. That heavy rain before it, the pitch will be really quick. Looking forward to a really good game here at Tynecastle, and I'm honestly looking forward to seeing Cabora as well playing, because he comes with a decent reputation. Scored a hat-trick for his national team a couple of weeks back, came on during the week and scored a goal which was unfortunately ruled offside for him. As far as Dundee concerned, I love watching Simon Murray. He's just energy.
Yeah, looking forward to that one. Hearts against Dundee. Livingston are at home to Hibs today. Kevin Thompson is there for us. We heard from both managers. Kevin, what will Davy Martindale be looking for today? They've been competitive in games, but it's just been a really bad run of form.
Yeah, I suppose a wee bit more luck, Kenny, when you think about conceding so late. Obviously done really well against Motherwell, conceding that late goal, probably a real sucker punch for the group. And I said it just obviously earlier, I'd never bet against the Davy Martindale team. I think he's picked the selection today to be a wee bit less open than they were a couple of weeks ago, because Hibs ripped them apart, really. So I'm expecting a really competitive game. I'd expect the Highbees with obviously Boyle and Clegy leading the line to cause the back four of Livingston real problems, but let's hope there's a few goals.
Falk are at home to Kilmarnock today. Billy Dodds is there for us. A tough one to call, Billy?
Oh, it certainly is. I think there'll be a desperation from both teams to get a result here with the defeats midweek. It started well. Falkirk on the break. It's Calvin Miller who's picked up. Rob Thompson bends it. Goalkeeper saves.
Oh, wow.
Good start.
Right.
Wow.
Yes.
You'll not see a better goal, Kenny. Jamie McGrath, it just comes. Rocky Bashiri helps it on. Clegy, even though he must only be 5'6", 5'7", small, leaps for the ball. I think with Danny Finlayson, it ricochets into the path of Jamie McGrath. He hits this sweep with his left peg straight across Pryor and goal. What a wonderful start for the Highbeats.
Wow, that's incredible. Did you guys get a chance to take a look at that?
I just caught it as it was getting in the net there. But
what an
unbelievable start to the game. Jamie McGrath, who would be disappointed having missed that penalty midweek against Rangers, and it's just a long ball and challenge as the ball goes through and it breaks. It's a good layoff with the head, and yeah, Jamie McGrath's just following up in a brilliant left-footed strike right into the corner, gives the goalkeeper absolutely no chance.
Yeah, what a fantastic start.
Fantastic goal, that. See, I think I'm most looking forward to today, Kenny, is the juxtaposition, because we've got the rugby on one of the screens here, and these guys 16 probably to 20 stone at least, and they are smashing into each other. And then I'll look at one of the football matches and there'll be a butterfly that flies past and people will fall down. It's going to be
Richard,
quite
you know
interesting.
Balls are round, Richard. They only go out of shape. We throw them to them. You know that. This is a football programme, remember that.
Yeah, the rugby is now off the screen, thank goodness, in the studio here. We've got all the games coming in to the studio. We're on the telly later on today, BBC One Scotland from 4:30. We are at all 4 games in the Championship today. We heard earlier on from Willie Miller, table topper St Johnstone at home to Airdrie. What's happening in the early stages here, Willie?
Well, it's Airdrie on the ascendancy, Kenny. They had an opportunity. Cooper it was that inside the box, a good cross from the left-hand side, and he's taken it with his left foot, and you know, Stewart in goal has got to get down really sharply to make a very good save. So you know, the visitors are the one that are taking the game to St Johnstone. They'll obviously be lifted by that really good result, although last week, although you know, St Johnstone having a superb result away to Morton. So listen, there's a lot to play for here. There's a feeling of excitement in Perth, and you know, that's because St Johnstone are playing extremely well and taking the game now to Airdrie.
Wee chance there.
Yeah, it's for Harry Mullen. Really good play. Devlin Beningame goes out wide to Mullen, plays a 1-2, cuts inside on his right foot, not noted for his right foot strikes. He's unlucky, but he's been a really good addition. I never thought I'd say that, but you know, there's no downfall with Penrice leaving and Mullen coming in. Penrice was brilliant, but Mullen's equally done as well.
Let's get to Firhill. Ian McCall is there for us, part of Thistle at home to Queen's Park. A sore one for Thistle last weekend, Ian, but are you expecting them very much to be in the title race come the end of the season?
Yeah, absolutely, Kenny. Yeah, I mean, whether it's a two-horse race, I don't know. I think one team will come out of the pack as well. I mean, Thistle Queen started brightly, but that was for about a minute. But you just get the feeling Thistle are, I don't know. I mean, Chalmers right in front of me, Logan Chalmers. He missed to touch the ball as a winger about 7 or 8 times in the first 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, they get the ball to the wide players all the time, and you know they've looked as if they were going to cut Queen's Park open 2 or 3 times. I can only see Thistle winning this game, and I hope Queen's put on a really good performance. But so far, Thistle are just dominating possession of the ball, and Chalmers in particular look really, really dangerous.
Right, let's get to Starts Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Morton. Chick Young, what are you expecting this afternoon?
Well, expect the unexpected, I think, with Morton, and I tipped them with a draw last week and they get an absolute hounding. The Wraith Rovers, incidentally, Kenny, if they're to win today, and depending how our broth got on, they could get themselves into 3rd position. Ian's talking about how tight this league is, and it ebbs and flows all the time, and it would send out a message, I think, from Barry Robson's side of it to win it. But they've got a Morton team who are drifting towards the wrong end of the table. 12 points in the first 13 games. I think they've had a couple of raw deals this season. I've seen a bit of them. Some bad decisions going against them, and I feel sorry for Dougie Emery. I've got no sympathy, incidentally, for the Morton strip, which is all red with a big black patch in the kind of belly area. I've no idea what that's about. It's horrendous. But in any case, the Morton fans have made their way through this afternoon. We hope they can get something and steady the ship a little bit, because they are drifting towards the wrong end of that table. But as I say, if Wraith Rovers are to win, and incidentally, 30 years ago yesterday, I thank my old pal Richard Gordon for reminding us that him and I were in the Olympic Stadium, and Wraith Rovers were leading Bayern Munich with a goal from Danny Lennon 30 years ago yesterday.
Never forget that scoreboard. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. Arbroath are at home to Ross County today. Let's get to Gayfield. Tyrone Smith. Yeah, Billy.
One it's offside.
Never seen that.
Right,
very close.
Right, Billy.
It's offside, but it was brilliant play from Calvin Miller to release Ethan Williams, just with a little reverse pass. He goes round the goalkeeper, knocks in the net, but the flag goes up. You can tell us in the studio if it's offside or not.
On first view, Billy, he does look like he's offside. I mean, it would be a worry for Killie, because their back line are so static, and Williams is on the move, and it's a lovely little pass through. We haven't seen it again along the line. He looked off on first view when we've seen it, but again, for some reason we still
nice pass. So
it's a brilliant pass, and it's a clever run as well.
What I would say about that back line, Fozzie, is it's a back 4. They're not playing usually a 3, Kilmarnock, but they've gone a 4 today. And Ben Brannan
just off.
Just, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, I knew it was tight, because I'm sitting, you know how it is here, I'm sitting right in line with it.
And it's almost like he kind of uses the Kilmarnock player his body to roll, and it's just at that moment he's literally just half a yard offside. It's unlucky, but it's a well worked goal, albeit he's a little bit offside.
Elgin City 1, Annan Athletic 0. The early goal there from Josh Walker. Let's get to Gayfield. Arbroath against Ross County. Tyrone Smith is there for us. Who's on top in the early stages, Tyrone?
Very much even Stephen Kenny, not a whole lot to report in the opening 6 minutes here at Gayfield. Ronan Hale just had a shot from about 30 yards which went flying over the crossbar for Ross County. I'm expecting this, Kenny, to be a really intriguing encounter. Arbroath, they're a team who've made a terrific start to the season despite many predicting they'd struggle, whereas County, they've been struggling despite being many people's title favourites.
Goal to Falkirk.
Wow.
They were taking a while. They were taking a while to check it, so it must have been really, really tight.
It was taking ages, Fozzie, and then I'm thinking this must be closer than they fit. Julian yourself from
the TV footage, it looks like he's offside. It looks like he's slightly the wrong side, but obviously they've got the cameras and they can see better than we can. We haven't had a close-up view of it, but
we might see the lines. We might see the lines here, the offside lines. But yeah, you guys said it was tight. Goal at Gayfield, yes, Tyrone.
Yeah, and I said this would be an intriguing encounter, and it certainly looks like it's going to be the case. It's the home side who've taken the lead here at Gayfield. Harry Cochran, he picked the ball up about 20 yards out, and he curled a sumptuous effort into the top corner of the net to make it Arbroath 1, Ross County 0.
Alan, he's an interesting one. He was a hot young prospect at one point, wasn't he?
He was. I remember when Hearts beat Celtic 4-0, and Brendan, that was an undefeated Brendan Rodgers Celtic team, and Hearts beat them here at Tynecastle, and Harry Cochrane scored a terrific goal that day, and they were talking about Juventus and all the rest of it. Just not quite worked out for the young man.
Yeah, talented young player. What's happening in the early stages here at Tynecastle, Al?
Even, very even, Kenny, indeed. There's nothing much in it. Hearts are trying to get the ball down and play out the back. Dundee very tight, look very good in defence at the moment, but a long way to go. We're 8.5 minutes in, it's 0-0.
Have you seen a replay of that? Because it was so tight. Maybe not.
No. We haven't seen it again. I've been keeping an eye on it, but I mean, just thinking back to it was a really, really clever pass and a great run. I think that's been something you can see Falkirk just. The few moments that we have been able to see them, the midfielders driving with the ball and the clever run from the striker, that is an area that they can exploit, because Kilmarnock backline, they looked as if they weren't connected at all. They clearly not, they haven't stepped up together, but they did look a bit disjointed at that moment.
It's a club, obviously, McCall, very close to your heart, Falkirk. It's just a remarkable story, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely tremendous. I mean, we beat them here at Firhill 5-0 during COVID to win the title, and they looked like a club that had completely and utterly gone. They appointed John McGlynn, and to be fair, they got over a hump when they get absolutely hammered in a playoff game by Airdrie, and they kept faithful. I think it was 6-0, believe it or not. And to win 2 titles in a row, and the way they play, and to keep the vast majority of the same players, it's remarkable. He's done an absolutely fabulous job, and the players have been excellent as well. They've all kind of risen to it. You have Brad Spencer, Calvin Miller, all the players that have come through them, doing really, really well.
And the fans call it. I mean, the energy in this stadium is incredible.
Yeah, great. It's almost like Brockville used to be. They'll never replicate Brockville, of course, but it's getting there.
Yeah, Richard, you have a look at
It's just even. I mean, that angle we're seeing now is no use to us, but the one before it, I mean, there's the lines. We can't.
There must be somebody hidden behind him, because he looks off.
No, I don't. I think it's his back foot. We can't really see the defender's back foot, but that must.
I think you're right.
It must be what it is that's playing him on. But obviously, you see the lines there. It's so close. But you know, I'm all for the attacking team, you know, getting a slight advantage if it is, and if the lines are touching, I believe he's onside. Is that right? So, I mean, it's. I think the defender's just got to track the run. He tries to stop and play offside, and he times it obviously really, really well, and he scores a really, really good goal.
His arm is, you can see his arm is offside.
Yes.
Obviously that's not going to count, and it must be then down to his toe. It must be then down to the foot, and also the defender's foot, which is obviously ever so slightly ahead.
The defence seemed very narrow, the two of you. I don't know what was happening. They're all bunched, and then William just appeared behind them when they run through.
They're bunched, Billy, and they're not in a line. So obviously, I think is it Brannan at right back? He comes all the way in with Williams, but then he ends up getting himself quite square. And Williams is obviously, he's on the move and he runs right across his face. It's a brilliant run. Not a lot the defender can do apart from track the run. He tries to hold his ground, and obviously he gets the timing a bit wrong.
So Ethan Williams with that goal for Falkirk after a check for a potential offside. That goal coming on 7 minutes. Falkirk 1, Kilmarnock 0, Cove Rangers 0, Peterhead 1. Jason Brown with that goal for the away side on 7 minutes. Down in England, Fulham 1, Wolves 0. Ryan Sessegnon with that goal on 9 minutes. So in the top flight today, 3 games for you. Falkirk 1, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 0, Dundee 0, Livingston 0, Hibs 1. That goal coming for Hibs in the first minute from Jamie McGrath. We're at all 4 games in the Championship this afternoon. Let's just then go down the card. Let's get to Willie Miller. First of all, St Johnstone at home to Airdrie. What's happening, Willie?
It's a really entertaining game, Kenny. Some nice football being played from both teams. Good build-up from the back into midfield, and then creating opportunities. A couple of piece. Gillen had a shot blocked for St Johnstone, and Josh McPake as well had a 25-yarder that just edged by the far post for Airdrie. They've had a couple of opportunities as well. The Cameron Cooper had that really good chance, just couldn't get it wide enough to find the back of the net. And then Mockery a really good run through the middle, only to see his shot going by the far post. Should have done much better, to be perfectly honest. 1v1 with the goalkeeper. He was under a bit of pressure though from a defender, but at least hit the target. He tugged his shot and it went by the far post. So no, a good game of football. It's open, it's entertaining. Chances have been created, no goals yet though.
In League One, Alloa Athletic 1, Celtic Hearts 0. Luke Rankin with opening goal there on 12 minutes. Next stop, Firhill, Partick Thistle against Queen's Park, the home side in the ascendancy. Ian?
Yeah, well, they certainly were, but just before you came to me, Josh Fowler, the returning striker for Queen's Park, has taken the ball in his own half, ran the full length of the pitch and played a beautiful little pass just inside the football for McLean, who was 1-on-1 with Josh Clark, and he tried to dink it over him, and Josh Clark made a really good save. That was the best chance of the game so far. It's still 0-0 just now.
He's got some pace, this laddie, Kieran Wilson, and he's run right across the width of the pitch. You can check if it's a penalty. I thought he goes down easily. Commander player comes across, he lays it wide once he runs across the pitch, then makes a darting run into the box. He's found again, and then he just goes to ground. Yeah. Soft. I don't think it is a penalty at all.
Here's a replay. Yeah, look at now. No, it's a dive.
Yeah. I'm surprised he never got booked.
The thing is, we're laughing, Kerry, but it's a booking.
Yeah,
you're right. He's trying to call the referee.
Yeah, absolutely blatant.
He's tried to kind of get close enough to Mackenzie to initiate the contact. Mackenzie's paused his run and stopped just a bit short, and yeah, it's a clear dive.
Down south, Brighton 1, Leeds United 0. Danny Welbeck with that goal on 11 minutes. Let's get to Starts Park. Wraith Rovers at home to Morton. What's happening in the early stages, Chick?
Yeah, it's pretty easy peasy. Maybe Wraith Rovers getting a little bit more of it. There's just a great break from Scott Brown down to the old inside right channel. Got it across, and won a corner kick. Wraith Rovers getting forward there. But Morton have looked tidy. There's a bit of determination about them. We need to pick up points. Nothing really for the goalkeepers to deal with so far. Kenny's still not. And incidentally, so you're talking about that, the guys are talking about that dive. Should that not be should we not look at that and award retrospectively a yellow card if it's that obvious?
It certainly was a bad one.
I think it's still in the game because we allow it to be in the game. And if
Richard,
you're absolutely right. And we all have our opinions on referees and the mistakes they make, but a lot of these players are now trying to con the referee. The one that gets me is when they scream out in pain and the referee has to stop the game, and then 10 seconds later they bounce back up. It's just, the referee's job's hard enough, and I think sometimes the players are making it more difficult.
Falkirk have got their tails up. I mean, they're playing some lovely football, and I'm looking at the running off the ball is incredible. And McKeever's a long range strike there.
Yes, Ian McCall. And it's for the home side. It's Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0. It was Paddy Redding, the free kick on the left-hand side. Everybody's retreated into the box just for the cross into the box. Aidan Fitzpatrick's just knocked it in to Tony Watt's feet. He's laid it back. Paddy Redding's come on to and absolutely fired into the bottom corner from 22 yards. Just when Queen's Park had their best chance of the game, Thistle went ahead. Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0.
Yeah, Thistle fan joined us in the programme on the way back from the game last week. She was really disappointed with the performance, but by and large it's been a really good campaign for Mark Wilson's team, and they are ahead at home to Queen's Park. It's been a very much indifferent start to the season for Ross County. There away at Arbroath today. They went a goal down early on there. Tyrone Smith, what's happening now?
Yeah, it's the home side. It's still very much in the ascendancy. You get a feeling if there's going to be another goal at the moment, it'll be Arbroath that might get that goal. I think that there were warning signs for Ross County. If they look at Arbroath's previous home fixtures, the last home fixtures, they put St Johnstone to the sword here at Gayfield, and they've had such a fine season so far, and when they're on it here, they're going to make life very, very difficult for anyone they're up against, and Ross County are finding that out at the moment. They've not really created anything of note, and at the moment, they're having to do the bulk of the defending. Arbroath continuing to lob balls into the box, but going back to that Harry Cochrane opener, it's worth another mention. It really was a thing of beauty. He picked the ball up 25 yards out, he took a touch, he picked his spot, and he curled an absolute cracker into the top corner, where it's Arbroath 1, Ross County 0.
Yeah, good stuff. Thanks to Tyrone Smith down in England. Burnley 0, Arsenal 1. Goikarez with opening goal there on 14 minutes. Just confirmation coming through in the video printer, as Ian McCall was telling us. Partick Thistle 1, Queen's Park 0. Paddy Redding with that opening goal on 16 minutes. Let's get back to the game at Tynecastle. Alan Preston is there for us. So far so good for Stephen Presley's side, Al?
Yeah, they've done well. They're very competitive, as you would imagine, and not really under any serious pressure. It's not as if the keeper McCracken's had save after save to make. And at the other end, they're trying to force their way up. Ray Wright's just won a free kick. Blair Spittle brings them down. But no, it's a very even match at the moment, Kenny. We're now going 18 minutes here at Tynecastle, where it's Hearts 0, Dundee 0.
Alan, we were chatting during the week, and we're chatting about a story that appeared in the news, and something I know you were very keen to follow up on, and we'll get the thoughts of all the guys in the programme today. And I think it's one of these subjects that no matter who you support, if you love Scottish football, this story is very much of interest to you, and that's that the performance schools are to close following a youth development review. We'll have more on this in the coming weeks, but they've been in operation since 2012. Likes of Billy Gilmore, Nathan Patterson, Emma Watson have all come through. £500,000 a year is the cost. Just look at the piece by sports news correspondent Chris McLaughlin on the BBC Sports Scotland website. He's saying the decision is thought partly to have been taken due to a lack of talent coming through. So right now 248 S1 to S4 pupils, boys and girls in the system. There'll be no one else now going through that system, no new recruits too. Alan, your thoughts on it?
I think it was sadly going to come to an end because of the finances, and it's probably right, but I also think that we're not doing enough to develop youngsters. I think last weekend there was 3 under-21s out of 125 players that played. Just as I said, Hearts go forward. Good effort. Mullen again, who's been excellent getting forward. So I think they're trying something. It's a 10-year project. But is it going to work? I'm not so sure. I hope it does, I really do, but you need clubs to buy into it. Clubs need to play younger boys, and I also think we need to get a reserve league back. They've got nowhere to play from the age of 19. We've went 17s to 19s now, but they've got nowhere to play after that. And all the guys that have played on this programme this afternoon would have played with first team players and everything else that goes about it to get your experience. Instead of that, we don't have that, so it's not great for them.
Alan, is it not the managers that don't want a reserve team?
Finances, Willie, as well. Finances.
Yeah, but you know, in my experience, it was always the managers that didn't want. I don't know about Ian, what his thoughts were, and maybe he's spoken to more managers than I have, but that was always the message that we got, that it was just a distraction, and when do you play it? And they just wanted their first team. They want to play with it. They want to coach their first team. They don't want to be any interference with that 20 odd players that they've got.
I get that, but it doesn't help the national team. Well, it doesn't help the national team.
Listen, I'm just telling you the reason for it, Alan, that's all.
This week our under-17s beat England under-17s.
Right? Yeah, I'm not saying it's wrong.
No, I'm just saying, well, so we get up to a certain level and then we stop. So our under-17s beat England this week 1-0, a last-minute goal at Airdrie. Really good result from European Championship qualifier. England have won the World Cup at 17s, 19s, but we're okay competing up to under-17s, and then we fall away dramatically. England are not only winning it, we're not even qualifying for them. And that's the thing. We lost yesterday 2-0 to Sweden at under-17 level. So although we beat England, we then lost to Sweden. So we need to do something to try and get more players through the system playing regular first-team football.
2-0!
Yes, Billy.
It's McKeever. It's a long range straight. I'm not sure who hit it, but the goalkeeper did well. Got a palm on it, but he palmed it straight into the path of McKeever, who just bundles it into the net. And Falkirk, who have been flying, go 2-0 up.
Yeah, it's not great from the goalkeeper. He's got to get that wide. It's a decent enough strike from the edge of the box, but he should be turning that round the post for at least, for the very worst, a corner.
Who struck it, Fuzz?
I couldn't see, but he actually puts it right back onto the penalty spot, and McKeever's on it like a flash. You know, again, slow to react to the Kilmarnock defenders, but yeah, it's poor goalkeeping for me.
For me, they should never get that shot away at the edge of the box. I think defensively, somebody's got the ball there, he twists and turns, he's got a couple of opportunities, and somebody needs to be blocking that shot. And then after the shot's away, yeah, I mean, the goalkeeper will be disappointed, because it was comfortable enough initially where he should get more on the save, but for me...
Well, that's not going to help you, Julie, because we can't even see where the ball is.
No, but the strike itself, I think there has to be someone. There's players round about the ball. He should be closer.
Is it 22? Is that Williams?
It does come through bodies, to be fair to the goalkeeper.
He's got to be doing better, isn't he?
He definitely has to do better. Definitely. It should be a comfortable enough save where he can get it clear of
it's Wilson that gets the shot, Doddsy. It's Wilson that shoots
right,
an edge block.
It was a good strike, but it was central. They should have done better.
Definitely, yeah, definitely, Billy.
Live table, Falkirk are fifth. It's just a remarkable story. I just want to get back and get the thoughts of our other pundits in this performance school situation, just to recap the goals that are coming. Yes, on you go.
Kenny, we haven't had a think tank for such a long time. Do you think I think we should resurrect the old think tanks? I think we've had about 3 of them.
Put you in charge
over
of it.
my time in the football.
It would be better putting Willie in charge of it, and I'm being serious.
I know that. I know. Totally. It's the same as we said right at the start, Alan. We'll get VAR. Remember having Graham Souness, and I was speaking to him, I said, what can we learn from England? He said, get former professionals involved. Get their nous, their understanding of the game involved in the decision making. I think that was very good advice back in the day from Graham Souness. Just that goals going elsewhere. Alloa Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 0. Callum Adamson with that goal. Queen of the South 1, Steny 0. Jack Stott on 19 minutes and confirmation. Falkirk 2, Kilmarnock 0. Ross McKeever with that goal on 22 minutes. So we'll just go back around the grounds. I want more thoughts on this performance, schools. It affects us all. It affects Scottish football and ultimately the national team. So let's go around the grounds. Let's get to the game where there's the commentary option this afternoon, the 3 o'clock start at Tynecastle. Hearts at home to Dundee. What's happening, Alan Preston?
Very comfortable. Hearts have got more of the ball without no Kenny, but it's comfortable for Dundee. They're defending deeper. They're defending very, very well. They've got a good shape to them. Hearts are finding it difficult. Kizaridis, who's been on the left ever since he's come into the squad, is...
Whoa, it's a goal.
Yes.
The goal to St Johnstone. St Johnstone take the lead. Sidibia is cross from the right hand side. He's unmarked. He goes up. Listen, it's a good header because it ends up in the back of the net, but it kind of slides off his forehead. There isn't an awful lot of power in it. Maybe he meant it. He just guides it into the far corner to give St Johnstone. It has been coming. They have taken the lead. That has been coming. They've been dominating possession and they get the rewards there, but far too easy for the striker just to be unmarked, to get himself up there and glide it into the far corner. 1-0 St Johnstone.
Yeah, the table toppers ahead there in Perth. Let's then get to the next game we're covering today. Well, Alan, we've just got a few more thoughts from you because we had the goal there from St Johnstone. Just your overall assessment. What will Derek McInnes be looking at changing potentially?
Well, Braga I'll give them a lift certainly if he comes on, but he said he's got a slight knock. It's difficult. Blair Spittle's come in. Obviously these guys have not started for a long time because the team's been doing so well, and it's difficult for them just to come and perform, but that's what you've got to be if you're going to be competing. At the moment, Kizaridis he looks brilliant, honestly. What a player this lad is. He's going from right to left with the ball. Incredible stuff. But they just can't get behind Dundee at the moment. Dundee are having a really good back 5. It looks like Dre Wright's in the right wing back role, Cometto on the left back, and they're just being resolute, very difficult to break down, and Hearts fans need to stick with them. The Dundee fans must be delighted because they've played well. They're working hard.
Spartans 1, East Kilbride 0. James Cragen with that goal on 22 minutes. Next up, Almond Vale. Livingston at home to Hibs. That very early goal for the away side. Kevin Thompson, what's happening now?
Yes, I thought Hibs were going to blow them away, to be honest, Kenny. They made a brilliant start. Livingston have grew into the game. Both teams have had the ball in the back of the net. One offside for Rocky Bashiri just recently. Stevie May had it in the back of the net, which was a coming together with Grant Hanley and Bakila. To be honest, Kenny, it's been a decent game without real quality. I thought Hibs were going to blow them away early doors, but to be fair to Livingston, Lewis Smith has had a couple of good balls into the box, which caused a wee bit of confusion in Hibs' defence, but I still think Hibs look the likely to get that second goal.
Right, what a flying start at the Falkirk Stadium for the home side, Billy Dodds. What about Kilmarnock? What concerns would you have around what you've seen in the first 26 minutes of play there?
Yeah, they'll not get close to it. I mean, on top of that, Falkirk winning every second challenge, they just keep the ball for fun, and it's been total dominance. Kelly haven't had an effort at goal. Falkirk have looked at it right from the start. They've got a 2-goal lead and the fans are getting right behind them. We've already spoke about in the programme, so this place is refreshing, I would say, and the fans are loving it, and rightly so with the football that I'm witnessing just now, Kenny.
Right, let's get into the championship. The leaders just went ahead a few minutes ago. Sidibe with that goal in 25 minutes. Willie 1-0 up at home to Airdrie. You see a fair bit of St Johnstone this season. Yeah. Did they look like the real deal for you this campaign?
They do, yeah, Kenny. You know, it's a nice, attractive style of football they play. You know, I think Simo Valakari is an infectious type of character as well. He's certainly got them playing with energy, and although they were under the cosh a little bit in the early part of this game, you know, they took control of it from round about the 10-12 minutes or so, and it's been one-way traffic. You know, they can mix it up. They can play the silky short passing, always with the intent and going forward, or they can play it long. So DB's a willing runner as well. He'll run into the corner, and he's getting a bit of treatment just now. He got himself injured there and just the build-up play. But no, they do look the real deal. Long way to go, and Thistle still chasing them hard. But I think, you know, looking at their pool as well, they've got a strong pool. And they're finding goals as well at times now. You know, I think that has been a problem in the past, but they seem to have shaken that off. So no, it's looking good for them this afternoon. That's for sure.
Good hit, good set.
Yes, Al.
That's Dundee, a great chance. Congreve it is, coming in, cutting onto his right foot. It's the deflected effort just over the top of the crossbar, away for a corner. That's been the best chance of the match so far, and it's fallen to Dundee.
That looked like a decent save, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, especially
does it get a save?
does.
I thought it just took a deflection off a defender.
It does that too, Alan. You can see just as he strikes it,
oh, no,
it comes off the...
Oh, right, I thought he came a touch. It's come off the crossbar.
off the post with the crossbar, right the corner, I think.
Yeah, well spotted by Alan there, but a real decent chance there for Dundee, you'd have to say. Congreve's a decent player, Al, isn't he?
Very good. I watched him up at when he actually came on against Motherwell in the second half and got Dundee back into the game, and since then he's been an ever-present. He's been excellent, very lively, good left foot, good delivery as well. So just Dundee's corner chance. No, oh, it's a free kick. I thought it was a penalty. Free kick to Hearts. No, but he's been excellent, really, really good.
I just like Congreve because he's that old school, wants to take people on, wants to drive his team up the pitch, wants to, you know, show a bit of magic, a bit of devilment, that he's not just going to take the ball and pass it and rotate it and, you know, keep the thing moving. He's actually going to take onus on himself, get the ball and actually go and attack players, and it's very difficult to defend against, especially now because defenders are not used to that happening.
Clyde 1, Dumbarton 0. Mark Durnan own goal there. So the home side ahead. The home side also ahead at Firhill Park at Thistle against Queen's Park. Are they good value for it, Ian?
Yeah, they are. I mean, they went ahead with it with a great set play that they've obviously worked on in training. Ironically, it was a minute after that Queen's Park had the best chance of the game through McLean. There's a real worry here just now that Kenny, like Charlie Fox, who was out injured for a good while, at least a year, I would say, maybe even more than that, has went down right in front of him. He's now been down for 6 or 7 minutes. It's not a head knock either. It's well, I don't think it is, but it looked really innocuous, which sometimes means it's really serious. He went for a ball with Tony Watt, and he was in real distress, and he's a key player for Queen's Park as well, but it was a real body blow for him after coming back and looking strong in this game. To get another, hopefully it's not as serious, but it looks very serious just now.
Right, that's a real worry. Ian will keep us updated on that. Let's get to Starks Park. Raith Rovers at home. Yep, Alan Preston.
You can guess who it's for. Lawrence Shanker. What a hit. Brilliant move from the goalkeeper. Goes out left to Mullen. He picks out Shanker. He takes one touch on his left foot strike in off the post. Brilliant finish.
I tell you what,
Hearts 1, Dundee 0.
Alan, that's a hell of a goal. Just the play leading up to it, the ball from the defence into Blair Spittle in a brilliant little pocket of space. Seen him do that thousands of times. Takes it on his back foot, slides in Harry Milne down the left hand side. I think it's Kabore at top end, so the Dundee backline have to drop, and Shanklin just picks that number 10 spot. Good pick out, and then it's a fantastic strike. Goalkeeper absolutely no chance in off the side of the post. It was a brilliant move from Hearts.
Yeah, and Shanklin's been finding these wee pockets of space. He's just sitting just off the front man, and the direction left foot right into the corner, and it's just a wonderful finish. But you can see there the Dundee backline have just dropped off. They've allowed him that space, so as soon as he's taken that first touch and then get his strike away, it's a great finish.
It just feels a bit different, E. McCall, as you were saying a few weeks ago too, as you of course know Lawrence Shanklin as well as anyone on this programme.
Well, that's the one thing that's no different, him slamming the ball into the net for a yard, 10 yards or 50 yards, but yeah, I just felt it did feel different. I never ever said they'll go and win it, but there's something that feels different this year. There really is, and I felt that 4 or 5 weeks ago, and they keep turning it on. I mean, Derrick's made 3 or 4 I don't know what Biscuit said. I think it was 3 changes. Three changes they made, so he's freshening it up, and you know, and Dell saying Braga's got a wee calf. Braga hasn't got a wee calf. He's not got a wee injury. He's just got to freshen him up. You'll put him on later in the game.
A wee calf.
Very good. So yeah, there's something about them. I did the game on Tuesday, as you know, Kenny.
Yep. Absolutely
terrific. St Mirren were great, but Hearts looked a real threat going forward. I mean, a real threat. So really interesting time, Scottish football. Charlie Fox had just been carried off incidentally to a standing ovation from everybody. the boy looked in real distress when he was going off, so hopefully it's not too serious. We're just about to restart the game, Kenny.
Right, thanks. A good update there from Ian McCall. Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1. Lewis MacArthur on 30 minutes. Just confirmation of that goal. Hearts 1, Dundee 0. That goal coming on 31 minutes from Lawrence Shanklin. Cove Rangers will equalise home to Peterhead. Lewis O'Donnell with that goal on 30 minutes down in England. Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 0. Mateta with a goal on 30 minutes. That's you right up to it. Let's go back to Chick Young then. Starts Park. Raith Rovers against Morton. What's happening, Chick?
Because we're talking about players taking a dive and not getting booked. So Dylan Easton has just done exactly that, right on the edge of the Morton box, and the referee has shown him a yellow card for simulation. Colin Stevens, the referee, incidentally, here at Stats Park. So we talked about it, and he's taking the action. And Dylan Easton first in the book this afternoon. Morton actually have had the best chance of the game so far. Michael Garrity was very comfortable in the ball. Lovely little run, a little blindside pass to Nathan Shaw, who got it to maybe a very narrow angle. He tried to screw the ball round the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper was down, tried to screw it, get some spin in it, put it into the net. Got the spin on it, just not enough, and eventually got it off the goal line, did the Rovers. So it's still 0-0, Kenny. We've played 31 in the 32nd minute, actually, and as I said, it's still Rovers 0, Morton 0.
Right, let's go back to Gayfield. Arbroath with the early advantage there. Tyrone Smith is there for us. Any sign of a county fight back, Tyrone?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say Ross County have responded reasonably well to going behind to that early Harry Cochrane goal. They've been seeing a lot more of the ball. The real good footballers in the team, the likes of Ronan Hale, Scott Fraser, Ryan Duncan, they're gradually getting a bit more of an influence in the game. Since that early goal, though, we haven't really seen too many clear-cut opportunities. However, just a few minutes ago, Ross County did have one. It was Ryan Duncan. He turned and shot from about 18 yards out, and his effort just dropped wide. But that's about it for chances. But there are slightly encouraging signs, I would say, for Ross County over about the last 5-10 minutes here at Gayfield, where it remains Arbroath 1, Ross County 0.
Thanks to Tyrone Smith. Ian McCall, just to go back to that performance schools to close debate that we had earlier on there, the general feeling seems to be not enough talent is coming through in regards to the cost. I know also some of the top clubs have got their own performance schools as well. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this? Willie was talking about perhaps the return of the reserve. Alan was suggesting that the return of the reserve league might be something we should be looking at.
Yeah, I mean, in an ideal world, 100%, and the guys that played will know, the guys and girls that played will know that back in the day, if I was playing at Pittodrie at 3 o'clock with the reserves, then, because it was usually the reserves, the first team game was on at Tiebreaks at 3 o'clock, and players coming down, you had 4 or 5 first team players coming down, you were learning off. Basically, these type of things come down to finance, not so much for Rangers and Celtic, but even, and maybe Hearts now, but even for the other clubs, a lot of it comes down to finance. And I stagger to not believe that this decision, that's an awful challenge on Aidan Fitzpatrick there. Is it a red card or a yellow? It's a yellow. I struggle to believe that it's not just down to finance, because it's just, everything in this country, when you come below the level of the top two, and Willie's worked on the other side of it as well, it comes down to finance, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just think, Julie, perhaps there's a bigger impact on females here, because I'm mentioning that some of the clubs have got their own performance schools, but that's not, I'd imagine, going to involve the female players. So this will be a huge blow. And we gave some examples there of some of the female players that have come through this system.
Yeah, it will. I mean, you look at the top sides and they're already involved with their own schools, their own performance schools, and it just seems to be always the teams below that suffer. And again, it's going to be a huge blow to these sides again. I don't know what position Hearts are in terms of their own school, whether they can provide that for their youth players coming through, but certainly there's nothing like that in the women's game. So we're going to see these players not going to be offered these opportunities.
Yep, goal.
Sorry, Julie. Goal at Livingston, 1-1, Kenny. Brilliant play, I have to say. After seeing Jamie McGrath's goal, early doors, brilliant slick play for Livingston. It ends up, I don't know if you can help us out, Julie or Fozzie, because all the Livingston fans are sitting in front of me, but the ball ends up in the back of the net, I'm sure, from Bakir.
Yeah, you're right, it is.
Right, we'll get that in a second. Billy Dodds.
Oh my word. What do you think? I mean, this place is going tonto, and I can understand why. I mean, it's just a flick on from Brian Graham. It's a lovely pass. It sets Miller through from the angle, and he just blasts it straight through the goalkeeper's legs. It is Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0.
Right, goal elsewhere.
Caboa, he's been waiting on it. He really has. He got one disallowed during the week. It's a corner, comes in, headed down. He runs right over to Derek McInnes and gives him a big hug. 2-0 to Hearts.
Wow. 3 goals in quick succession there. So let's see first of all if we can help out Kevin at Almond Vale there, the equaliser for the home side.
Really, it's Bakila, isn't it?
It looks like Bakila.
Yeah, he gets the touch.
Pittman makes that run, that kind of inside channel run, and picks him out brilliantly in the middle of the box. But the bit before that is a worrying bit for Hibs, because I don't know, I think it might be Bakila before it, literally picks up the ball and drives right through the heart of the entire Hibs team, then flashes the ball wide to Pittman, and then goes and gets the return. But it's a real simple goal from a Hibs point of view in terms of how they conceded it. And then you go to the Falkirk goal again. It's that inside run, good finish. I'm not sure if the goalkeeper can do better than that.
You've been way too kind. He's got to be doing better.
Well, to be fair, Kenny, I was still busy watching the Hibs game and just seen it going, so I haven't seen it again. It's a tight angle and you expect maybe a goalkeeper to get something on it. But yeah, not a great first half of football for Kilmarnock. And by the way, a fantastic finish from Kabore. He knows what he's doing. He's got his back to goal. He knows that if he swivels and hits it, the goalkeeper might save it, but he actually swivels and reverses it into the near side corner. But you know, Hearts are just getting stronger and stronger, and I can imagine they're going to go score more goals in this game.
I'm not sure I'm on board though with running and celebrating with your manager. I think in a dressing room environment, I think he might take a bit of stick for that.
He's just trying to get in the team next week.
I wonder if that would work or not. You never know.
His teammates will see it
as much as he wants.
Exactly.
Kenny, just touching on that goal for Livingston, I have to say, just echoing what Julian Fawzi said there, it was actually Brennett in full-back area. It goes to Lewis Smith, it gets popped inside. What Fawzi says, he just drives, he keeps on going. It's a brilliant pass to Scotty Pittman, and then it's a brilliant pick out and a brilliant finish. I have to say, Livingston, after a real poor start, or you could argue a brilliant start for Hibs, they've really grew into it, and it's become quite not a tetchy game, but a game that there's not a lot in it, not a lot in it, and the game's in the balance.
Wow, so many goals going in. So let me just bring you up to date. Down in England, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2. Declan Rice with the second goal in 35 minutes. Nottingham Forest 0, Man United 1. Casemiro on 34. Just confirmation that Jeremy Bakila equaliser for Livingston on 37 minutes. Livy 1, Hibs 1. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0. Calvin Miller with the latest goal there on 38 minutes. Just as we were hearing the celebration from Kabore, he put Hearts 2-0 up at home to Dundee. So it is all happening right across the country on Sports Sound here. Just find this one before we get to half time, just quickly, Billy Dodds, your thoughts on this debate around the performance schools, reserve leagues, where do you stand on things?
We keep revisiting it. We have to find a way to get them football. It's not worked, the schools, we know. I know there's finance issues when it comes to getting a league going, but they have to play football. Here's another chance. I mean, some of the football getting played here from some of the young lads coming up from England as well, just touching on coming through the system. I mean, it's a joy to watch. But they've got to find a way, Kenny, and we keep on revisiting it and we can't, but we need to do something to keep the pathway going.
Yeah.
It's a goal for Raith Rovers.
Oh, didn't hear you, Trick. Apologies.
Yeah, I was screaming at it. Doesn't matter. We're going for Raith versus Jack Hamilton with a fantastic header into the
roof to your submarine there, Trick.
Fantastic cross. Jack Hamilton with the header just inside the box. Put it beyond James Storer and the Morton goal. He had no chance with that. It's the first show opportunity, actually, of the afternoon. We have 39 minutes on the clock at Starks Park, and it is Raith Rovers 1, Morton 0. The goal scorer Jack Hamilton.
Fantastic. Apologies, Chip, didn't hear you there at all. There's a lot of noise in the programme today because the atmosphere sounded electric right across the country. I think mainly coming in from Tynecastle, you'd have to say. Apologies, just finally, your thoughts on the performance skills?
I agree with what the guy, I agree with what Alan says. Really, in terms of the reserves. Now, I get it that football clubs are businesses, so I don't know if you're able to do this, but make them have a reserve team. You have to have a first team, a reserve team, and an under-19s team, because at the end of the day, it's our game that suffers. So, and I get that, I understand the finance to a point, but teams like Aberdeen, Hearts, Hibs, they're paying boys 3, 4, 5 grand a week. So pay them 2 grand a week and then use the money for your reserve team. Because we what we're doing up here is we are taking up kids from England and we are progressing those players and giving them game time. We also, and forgive me guys that have been a manager, because I'm passionate about this, but I don't know the ins and outs. But managers now seem to want players to be the finished article before they get in the team. Now, that's never going to happen unless you're, we look at boys like Lennon Miller. Well, Lennon Miller is different. He is just he's a freak in the nicest possible way. That doesn't happen. I know for a fact that if I had to wait to be ready to get in the team, I would never have made my breakthrough. When I came in, I was fast, but I was raw. Some will argue I never got much better, but I went in and I wasn't ready. Physically, I wasn't ready. Mentally, wasn't ready. Technically, wasn't ready. But then in 2 years' time, when Calderwood comes in and I play nearly every game of the season, I'm then ready because I've had that. I've been broken into the team, but I don't think we get that now. It's either you're good enough to play or you don't get involved. So there's no, and then because there's no reserve league, there's literally nowhere for these kids to play. And going out on loan doesn't work, because what will happen is you go out on loan and they'll play the first few games, and as soon as things don't go well, the managers go, right, well, I'll stick to my experienced guys, and the loan guys just sit on the bench and do nothing.
I think we've got to stay competitive. Alan mentioned it. I know it's back to old school, but they've got to get some experience in there to teach these young lads who play in this reserve league
100%.
to make sure they're physically strong enough, handle the development side of the game and the physical side of the game. If they don't, if they play a reserve league and it's all young boys, that won't work either.
Well, if you're a left winger at 17, 18 and you're coming up against a Richard Foster who'll kick you and show you who's 27, 28, 29, whatever, you're going to learn. You're not going to learn if it's easy to run the fullback who's the same age as you every time you get the ball. You're just not learning.
It's something we'll revisit. It's something that affects all of us that love Scottish football. So we'll get back to this. I'm sure we can do a special with a great programme previously on this. All the guys were heavily involved, and at that point we said we need to revisit this. We just couldn't get through all of it on the day. Dumbarton have equalised away at Clyde Leighton Macintosh in 41 minutes. Spartans 2-0 up now at home to East Kilbride. Cameron Russell on 41 minutes. I want to go to Falkirk because there must be a real concern for Stuart Kettlewell here. This is a really sore one, Dodgy.
You can see the confidence draining out his side. When I was in with you, what was it, 3 weeks ago, Kenny, we watched a brilliant performance against Dundee United.
Yes.
Both ends of the pitch, clinical 2-0 win, rock solid at the back. It is far from it, but it seems as if these defeats have been eating away at his team's confidence, and they really, it's been so one-sided. They haven't had a shot at goal. Falkirk could have scored a couple more. They have been sensational, but Kelly, it's worrying times. They need to get a win to get the confidence back.
They're missing, Kenny, they're missing, obviously Daniel's getting in a long-term injury, Marley Watkins been out. They're a bit light at the top end of the pitch, and when you play in teams and you know you're struggling to score goals, it does really deplete the confidence, because any goal against you and you think the game's done.
I think also the stride check being out as well has had a huge impact, and Kilmarnock, you look at, they were very balanced and they were organised. I watched them at Rugby Park against St Mirren, and he did a really strong performance, and I think the difference when he hasn't been in the side, it's been huge for them, in quite an unsettling period as well, I'm sure.
We've got all the games coming into the studio here, Alan. Every time we look up, Hearts in control of the ball. Yep.
This is the half-time whistle goes, Kenny.
Thanks, Al.
2, Dundee 0.
Yeah, we'll get the half-time reports. So thanks to Willie, thanks to Alan there. So both these sides in control of their games as things stand. And just an injury.
Half-time at Gayfield.
Thanks, 1-0 to the home side there, Arbroath against Ross County. Thanks to Tyrone Smith. Just an injury concern through Amon Vale, Kevin?
Yeah, I think it's Pittman that's down, Kenny. I think it did look for this distance that he was holding his hamstring, which will be a worry. The subs are obviously out warming up. Obviously the board just come up 2 minutes his stoppage time to play, so I'm pretty sure Davy Martindale will be desperate to at least get him at half time to then see, because he's such a talisman for this team. Obviously a huge hand in the goal. So yeah, a slight concern for Davy Martindale and his team.
Right, we had the half-time report, the half-time call there from Willie. We'll get the report from him, just short them at German Park. You'll have a fair bit of stoppage time to play at Firhill, Ian.
Yeah, it could be 6-7 minutes, I would imagine, because obviously for Charlie Fox's injury. The Thistle on the... Thistle were on the break, yes. Fitzpatrick had been across the earlier, what had the tap in? It's came in nothing. Still 1-0 to
half-time, Kenny. 3-0 to Falkirk. Kilmarnock fans not happy.
No, this is an absolute doing up there, you'd have to say. Falkirk looking very, very good today, but Killie not helping themselves defensively this afternoon. A big job for Stuart Ketchwell to do at half-time up there at the Falkirk Stadium. Chick, are you still playing at Starks Park?
Yeah, we're into the 45, just about to come and go now. We'll go into time added on. It is 1-0. In fact, there's a half-time gone. No time added on at all. 45 minutes have come and gone. Half-time scoreline is Wraith Rovers 1, Morton 0. The goal scorer Jack Hamilton from a Doherty cross after 40 minutes.
Thanks to Chick Young there. So just the one game still playing. That's the game through at Almond Vale. Kevin?
Yeah, I think we're just about 30 seconds to go, Kenny. Still 1-1 at the moment. It's actually been a good game. Hibs started off with obviously a fly with a brilliant finish, as you'll all get to see it later. And then to be fair to Livingston, they've worked away, they've churned away, and they've got themselves back in the game, scoring a brilliant goal. I think it'll fizzle out and it'll end up 1-1 at half-time.
Yeah, it's interesting to note what David Martindale was talking about earlier about losing these late goals in games. If this remains the same deep into the second half, just wonder, Richard, does that come into your psyche at all?
Yeah, it does. You start to worry because you know you're vulnerable there, and you know, it is a concentration thing. It's a decision making in that last moment. It's defenders sensing danger. It's midfielders sensing danger. It has to be a collective. If your midfielders are just expecting your defenders to deal with everything, then it's never going to end well. And it's probably just a concentration thing. Like I say, you look at the game against Motherwell was a glaring example because they concede a goal and it gets chopped off, and then a minute later they concede another goal. You would think at that point, just get everyone behind the ball. Don't be venturing forward. Just take the draw. And I think sometimes we don't talk enough about teams being able to manage games. You know, yes, I get it. You're at home. It's 1-1. But sometimes you need to go, how's the flow of the game going? And a lot of the time that comes from the players on the pitch, because a lot of the time you can't feel it from the side, but experienced players on the pitch, you go, you know what, the draw is, it's a minute to go, a draw's fine for us today, let's get everybody behind the ball and just clear our lines. But it looked like they were trying to push for the goal. Motherwell then break and score a minute after scoring, and that'll be the bit that irks him. He needs his experienced players to actually take charge in the game and actually start to manage games a bit better.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be the message at half-time. They just hit half-time there, so what we'll do is we'll go around the grounds. I know they're still playing at Firhill. Liam was telling us a long delay there, but we'll go around the grounds, got all the half-time reports for you right here on BBC Radio Scotland.
The biggest games,
breaking news,
and exclusive interviews.
It's massive! This is Sports Sound
from BBC Radio Scotland. This is the incredible story of a player rejected by his boyhood club to rise from the ashes and become Serie A's most valuable player.
He was literally enshrined in a part of Naples.
Mick Fratima to the Napoli faithful.
It means brother in Neapolitan dialect.
We're going back to learn about how McTominay was made. This is Scott McTominay, our brother of Naples, on the Scottish Football Podcast. Listen on BBC Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. 7 games covered today on Open All Mics. We have 2 commentaries for you at tea time. The first of the League Cup semi-finals, Motherwell against St Mirren. That kicks off at 5:30. Full coverage right here on Sports Sound on BBC Radio Scotland. Our first commentary option comes from Tynecastle. The leaders' hearts at home to Dundee. Let's get the half-time report from Rob McLean.
Tynecastle is tingling with excitement about the prospect of Hearts stretching that lead at the top of the Premiership from 6 points to 9, and it is very much on after a quality showing in the first half from Derek McInnes and his team. They came out with the blocks as you expected they would, with that sort of incentive in front of them, but they came up against a Dundee team who were in their faces ready for a scrap and produced some pretty disciplined and organised play, and they had a threat on the counter as well, did Dundee, and what a save it was to stop them opening the scoring. Cam Congreve tucked in from the left-hand side, a right foot shot which took a deflection and it was heading for the top corner. It looked net bound until Alexander Shvolov stretched up a right glove and clawed it away. What a save it was from the German keeper, who produced good stops against St Mirren during the week as well, and is looking a really good signing for them, an important signing as well. A lot of the headlines taken further forward, but he looks a really good acquisition for the Tynecastle team. Within 90 seconds, they'd gone in front. The ball played up to Lauren Shankland. He was about 22, 23 yards out, left-hand side. Wouldn't really have qualified as a chance for most players on the pitch, but it certainly was for Hearts number 9. He took a touch with his right foot and immediately rifled it with his left, and it clipped the inside of the post on its way in. A brilliant finish from Shankland, and already for him 10 goals for the season, and that's gone past his total for the whole of last season. The one before was 33. Maybe this campaign is going to be more like that one. And very quickly, Hearts looked and pushed for a second goal to make things even worse for Dundee, and from a corner kick they found it as well. Wasn't well defended. Hearts got first contact on it, and when the ball broke free in the 6-yard box, it was Landry Kabore who reacted quickest to score his first goal for the Tynecastle team, and he sprinted up towards Derek McInnes in celebration at getting his first goal for Hearts. It's a real blow, that one, for Dundee. You would wonder whether even at this stage there is any way back for them, and Hearts will look to get this finished off as quickly as possible and ensure the 3 points that extends their lead at the top. Half-time at Tynecastle, full house Tynecastle, Hearts 2, Dundee 0.
Full second half commentary to come from Rob McLean and Ryan Stevenson. Alan Preston on Open All Mics duty for us. Let's get to Ammanvale, Livingston at home to Hibs, and get the half-time report from Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, 1-1 here, Kenny, and I have to say you couldn't have asked for a better start for Dave Gray and his men. Just a helpful ball really for Rocky Bashiri. Clegy goes up to obviously contest it. It ricochets into the path of Jamie McGrath. You won't see a better strike all weekend. A wonderful finish, hits it first time, probably best part of 20 to 22 yards out, right into the bottom corner, just past Pryor. And then, to be honest, I thought Hibs would kick on. I thought they would go and grab the second. Huffed and puffed a wee bit. I thought Livingston were a wee bit shell-shocked, but to be fair to them, they've churned away, they've dug in, been a lot of second balls contested, and then both teams have the ball in the back of the net. Initially Hanley and Bakia go through, they're coming together. I actually thought it was offside, but I think it was coming together, and Hanley just gets there before the big striker. Referee deems it was a foul. The ricochet falls to Stevie May, a brilliant finish, but obviously the referee brings it back for the free kick for the Highbees. And then Rocky Bashiri as well just strays offside for kind of a second phase because it gets knocked back into the box. Great finish, to be fair, at the big centre half, but deemed offside. And then I have to say, what a wonderful goal for Livingston. Probably the best passage of play we've seen all afternoon when you think you're passing the ball. Initially starts for the talisman and Lewis Smith. He's been the one that, albeit going down on his right side, he's put some floaty balls in, I would say, rather than coming with real quality and real pace. But certainly looks a danger. Obviously playing on the right, always wanting to cut back on his left, but he has been brave enough to go down on the outside. But anyway, initially pops it back inside. Brennett, the Dutch boy at the fullback here, he just drives straight at the heart of the Hibs defence. Scotty Pittman makes a brilliant run into the inside channel, and then it's a great first time cross. He picks out Bakia, brilliant finish for the big striker, and he's probably been, I would say, the difference maybe, Kenny. He's been, as the games grew, he's contested lots of balls with Grant Hanley, with Rocky Bashiri, and as I've said, the second ball's been one of the things that they've picked up a lot of. Chawal's probably been a wee bit one-paced in the middle of the pitch, and I would say that as the games went on, I would say Livingston have probably got a better foothold in the game than I expected.
So very tight at Ammanvale. It's one-way traffic at the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk at home to Kilmarnock. Let's hear from Billy Dodds.
Kenny, Falkirk are flying. This has been so one-sided, and it all started in 7 minutes when Calvin Miller with a lovely pass released Williams. He went round the goalkeeper, rolled into the empty net, and after a long VAR check, and it was tight, the goal was given, so that set him in the front foot. McKeever then had a long distance strike. It was saved nice and easy, but it was a good strike. And then 22 minutes, I mean, it was 2-0, and it was a Wilson strike. It was parried by Oguwemi, and McKeever followed up, well, good strikers do, just bundled it home from 6 yards. The confidence was flowing then. It was a great move. There must have been 10-15 passes from Falkirk that resulted in Keelan Adams blasting wide from a really good position. And Falkirk had a few more chances, but they made it 3-0, and it was all too easy. It was just a direct ball. Graham Flick Williams picked up a nice little reverse pass into Miller, and he blasted it through the goalkeeper's legs. It's been so one-sided. I say Falkirk could have been 5-6 up. Half time at the Falkirk Stadium. It's Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0.
Thanks to Billy Dodds. Just in terms of the opener, we've got a picture through there. Yeah, he's clearly onside. The Kilmarnock defender behind the Falkirk player, his foot is sticking out, so they checked that and come up with the correct decision. Of course, the 3-0 to Falkirk against Kilmarnock. Hearts 2, Dundee 0, Livingston 1, Hibs 1. There was a delay in the first half at Firhill, Ian McCall, and there has been a second goal.
Yes, and they've just blown for half-time, so I can do my half-time thing right now, but the second goal was absolutely outstanding. Ben Stanley, Queen's Park players were dithering with the ball about 50 yards from goal. Ben Stanley's robbed it. He's ran forward to about 25 yards. He had an option right and an option left. Didn't pick either of them. Instead, he curled into the far top corner from 25 yards. Fabulous. I mean, Thistle have dominated the game. They've had something like 70% possession, Kenny. Ironically, Queen's Park had the best chance of the game in the 13 minutes. Josh Fowler, who's been impressive, the lad that scored a lot of goals from them, he's ran the full length of the pitch, played a lovely little ball to McLean. He's tried to dink the goalie, didn't quite come off. The goalie Josh Clark made a decent save. The goal came just a minute later. It was a great set play. Again, kudos to Mark Wilson and the coaching team of Partick Thistle. Aidan Fitzpatrick, dummy to play the ball into the box, played it into Ben Stanley's feet. He immediately laid it back to Paddy Redding, 25 yards, banged into the bottom corner. Unfortunately, about half an hour gone, Charlie Fox went down, hence there was so much injury time. It looked a really bad one. It's one of these that looks innocuous and you can't actually see what happened, but he was in real pain and the stretcher came off. It took about 10 minutes to deal with him and get him off the pitch. But the Stanley goal, as I've described just a minute before the break, has put the seal on a first half performance for Partick Thistle. So it's Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0.
Good stuff, thanks to Ian McCall. So they are keeping the pressure on the league leader St Johnstone, but so far they are doing the business at home to Airdrie this afternoon. There for us is Willie Miller.
They are, Kenny, and they're looking good for it. The first 10-15 minutes it was quite an even game. Cameron Cooper should have done better with a close range shot with his left foot. A decent save though. Mockery had another opportunity right through. He was under a little bit of pressure, put it past the post, but then St Johnstone started to take control. Jamie Gillan had a couple of opportunities. Josh McPake put one past from 25 yards. And then in 25 minutes they got the breakthrough. Adamas Adibi with the header. It was all too easy for the striker. The cross came from Liam Smith on the right hand side. Adibi went up. He just came off the side of his head. Not a great header, I didn't think, but if it ends up in the back of the net, it's a superb header, isn't it? They had another 3 opportunities before half time, but at half time it's 1-0 and St Johnstone in top.
Thank you to Willie Miller. We'll get the other couple of reports for you from the championship games. I'll give you all the scores across the leagues in a couple of minutes' time, but I can see the teams coming back out at Tynecastle, so a choice of listening once again on Sports. And for Hearts against Dundee, we have commentary from Tynecastle on BBC Radio Scotland Digital, 810 medium wave and extra on BBC Sounds. For Open All Mics, tune to 92 to 95 FM and BBC Sounds, and both are live online, bbc.co.uk/Sport Scotland.
Football from Sports Sound
on BBC Radio Scotland.
Welcome back to Open All Mics on BBC Radio Scotland. 2 more half-times to bring you from the Championship. Wraith Rovers are at home to Morton today at Starks Park. There for us is Chick Young.
Yeah, a 1-0 lead for the Rovers against Morton means that the Kirkcaldy side have actually moved into one of the promotion playoff places. Kenny sitting 4th in the table as we stand, 1 point behind Arbroath in 3rd place, and that's a magnificent achievement for them at this stage of the season. Morton, I'm afraid they're just parachuting down the table and are sitting just a point off Queen's Park behind them in 8th place of the table. Huge gap actually appearing in this championship. Interesting in championship season, but Morton I'm sure will take a little bit of buoyancy from what they've produced in the first half. They've competed well. They haven't really, except one kind of vague chance that was screwed across the line in the first half by Nathan Shaw. That apart, they haven't really tormented Josh Ray in the Rovers' goal. But there's been a bit of spirited performance about them. They're not out of this yet. I'm sure there's another goal to come. Presumably it will be for Raith Rovers who have a grip of it. But Morton need to battle their way into this, or they're beginning to look a little concerned down Greenock Way. Half-time here is still ongoing. We haven't started the second half, and as I said, it is at half-time. Rovers 1, Morton 0.
Thank you to Chick Young. Next stop, Gayfield are both at home to Ross County. Let's get the half-time report from Tyrone Smith.
Yeah, kind of the second half is just getting underway here at Gayfield, where it's Arbroath 1, Ross County 0. It was the hosts who made just a dream start. They broke the deadlock after just 7 minutes. It was a cracker too. The ball fell to Harry Cochrane 25 yards out. He took a touch before curling a beauty into the top corner. County, well, they did respond well to going behind. Conor Randall, he had a shot which was deflected just over the bar. Moments later they came close to an equaliser when Ryan Duncan saw a long range shot drop just wide. They continued to take a firm grip on things. They got another sight of goal. Ronan Hales drilled low shot, forced a decent stop from the Arbroath keeper, and as the break approached, County threatened again. Scott Fraser fizzed a low shot just wide. However, they haven't been able to find the net here at Gayfield, where just a minute into proceedings in the second half it remains Arbroath 1, Ross County 0.
So in the Championship, Arbroath 1, Ross County 0, Partick Thistle 2, Queen's Park 0, Raith Rovers 1, Morton 0, St Johnstone 1, Airdrie 0. In League 1 today, Alloa Athletic 2, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Peterhead 1, East Fife 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Inverness Cally Thistle 0, Montrose 0, Queen of the South 1, Stenhouse Muir 0, and in League 2, Clyde 1, Dumbarton 1, Elgin City 1, Annan Athletic 0, Spartans 2, East Kilbride 0, Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1, Stranraer 1, Forfar 0, and in England, Brighton 1, Leeds United 0, Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 1, Brentford 0, Fulham 1, Wolves 0, Wolves down to 10 men, Nottingham Forest 0, Manchester United 1, and 5:30 start, Spurs at home to Chelsea. 8 o'clock, Liverpool at home to Aston Villa. And just a reminder, our second commentary of the day comes from the National Stadium. It's the first of the League Cup semi-finals. Motherwell at home to St Mirren. 5:30 start. We'll cross over, we'll get the team news for you, and we'll hear from both managers ahead of kick-off, and then commentary to come. A lot of our pundits think this one is just too close to call. We shall find out later in the day. And of course tomorrow, the second semi-final, Celtic against Rangers. Sportsound is on air from midday. Alan Preston is at Tynecastle for us, Alan, and Julie was having a wee laugh there talking about Kabori's celebrations, right over to the manager, diving right in front of, and then a big cuddle. And do you know what really sometimes I think Alan sort of signifies something being good in team spirit? Leading the celebrations on the bench, Claudio Braga. There's a really good feel about that club right now, isn't there?
Kenny, I don't know if you've seen it on social media, but the song from Wednesday night at St Mirren, the Claudio Braga song, has now had over 5.5 million viewings. It's incredible. It's gone worldwide, as we'd heard before. It's an unbelievable song. The person that put the words to the lyrics is magnificent. It would be great if Brian May said something about it, because it's a really good song. And you're right. See, and the boys will tell you, team spirit is everything in a football club, and it seems to be in an abundance here at Tynecastle just now. Regardless of what the starting 11 is, the subs are all behind them. You see them. Hearts are playing really nice stuff in the second half. Here's Kizaridis on the ball. Really good play by them. But there's just a real feel-good factor around the whole club at the moment.
Yeah, it's a good point actually. Twitter at the moment, or X as it's called, when you click on something, I clicked on that the other night, that song behind the goal there in Paisley, and as a result, every time I click on now, I'm seeing everyone all around the world, Julie, people commenting on all this. It's fantastic. See, no one does it like Scottish football. We need to incorporate this tune for our club. But it's all over the world. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's brilliant when you get a bit of positivity about your game, and people actually going to be tuning in, and it all comes down to that song. And I mean, that just adds to the atmosphere when you go to games, when you've got that type of song attached to the players. And I'm sure it means an awful lot to Braga as well. Somebody that has really done exceptionally well since he signed for Hearts. An ideal start for him, and he's certainly, the fans have taken to him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he looks a great character, I have to say. Oh, wait a minute, sorry.
How many hits is this?
5.5 million.
Oh, it's mere bag of tailgate to mean Walter Smith. 52 million or something.
That was about 30 years ago.
And it's still not happening. See, that song's going in 30 years.
It will be, don't worry, once we win the Champions League.
Mere bag of tail. A single listener in comparison.
And you've still not got the technology to look at it.
Still not getting any money out of it, that's for sure, more importantly.
I remember,
you should.
I remember about 5 or 6 years ago going to an interview with Archie Knox about something else. I said, just talk us through that incident. It was absolutely fantastic. As he, of course, had the cameo role in that
I've
very...
actually got the Archie Knox memorial microphone with me today.
Kelly, with a goal ruled out, and I think it was right down in front of me, Kenny. Just a corner comes in, they pop up there, and Dees just takes the goalkeeper out and then knocks it into the net, but rightly chalked off.
Yeah, just having a wee look. Alan, just from a Dundee perspective then today, this was always been a big challenge for them, but how have they equipped themselves?
They've been difficult to break down. When you look at the chances, there wasn't many in that opening half. Hearts were clinical with them, just to say there's a free kick coming in. Dundee had that one chance with Congreve where he clips the bar after a deflected shot, and that's been about it. They've not really shown a lot on an attacking appetite going forward. So it's been difficult for them. Hearts are on such a high, it's a tough place to come. The Hearts players are just hunting in packs, they're getting the ball back. As soon as they lose it, they're getting it back as quick as they can. So it's been a really difficult afternoon for Dundee.
I bet you Willie's just love listening to you milking every bit of airtime, Alan, about
text him every day, Dodds, to make sure he's alright.
It's got to be a goal. It is. It's a second goal, and it's Sidibe again. Good work down the left-hand side. The ball's clipped back to him. He started to move, and he's finished it. It's cool. It's calm. It's clinical. It's 2-0 St Johnstone.
I thought that was an extra bit of deflection there from Willie Miller, but it is indeed a second goal. Yes, good save.
What a save from James Storer. It's an unbelievable shot, driven right in by Jordan Doherty, and he really sides it with pace. It's got in the corner. I'm about to scream, what a goal, but what a save it was. The Morton goalkeeper Storer get across to his left side. It's gone in the postage stamp corner, and somehow he gets hands on it, puts it around for a corner kick. Brilliant goalkeeping.
Well, have you seen Tommy Wright? He's at the game today. Has he been on the pitch?
He has, yeah. Is that who it was? Yeah, he was out in the pitch. I didn't
Gets
really
inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he was walking across the halfway line, and he was applauding the fans. He was there. Hall of Fame, is it? Yeah. And Big Tyrone's disappointed that Tyrone's not here to take a beating off him.
You can pass on my regards as well. You can pass on my regards. I'll never forget Dens Park. I'll never forget it.
That's got about 18 million hits as well.
One of those nearly my chin, I can tell you.
Kelly showing a decent response, Kenny.
Yeah.
John Jules, I think it was, just on the pitch. He come on half time. They made 3 subs, Kelly. That shows you. And they've gone back to a back 3 as well, or back 5 at times, just to try and shore up damage limitation. But they have looked a threat going forward. That's John Jules just rolled down on this left hand side, bends it, and Bain makes a really good save at the near post.
Doddsy, see, you said he rightly gives a free kick, and I think
what a save. Sorry, Fozzie. It's Robbie Dees who's still up for that attack. Hits a left foot shot, and this time Bain away his left hand side beats it away. Really good save. Sorry,
yeah, that's an excellent save. I think Bain gets he probably is just fouled, but he's going for a ball he really can't win, and because he's coming over the top of the Kilmarnock player just kind of almost ducks out his way, and it does impede Scott Bain, but I think he gets away with one a little bit there, because for me it's not a ball that he can go and win.
You don't have to tell me about overprotected goalkeepers, Foz.
I think like I say, he does impede him going for the ball, but I just don't ever think he's got any right to go for it.
Yeah, he looked as if he had a look where the goalie was and then just made a back for him. I think that was the problem.
I think you're absolutely right, but if that's a defender, you're saying to him, why you can't win that ball, just let your defender deal with it. But yeah, he does impede him, but that save just there was a fantastic save down his left hand side.
Kenny, who do we give the national jersey to for goalkeeping? Because I see Gunn's injured.
Yeah. Has it not got to be Craig Gordon? I know he's not played, but I mean the experience, surely is he not the...
Yeah,
Scott Bain?
I wouldn't have a problem
in the squad.
I wouldn't have a problem with Liam Kelly, lads, honestly. I think our top goalkeeper, unlucky not to be playing at times because of the form of Jack Butland.
What was he like? Because he obviously stepped up, Billy, when you guys were there. You dropped Butland.
Self-explanatory. You saw the way he played and performed against Bilbao.
He's another one that you hear around the game that is meant to be brilliant. Even when he's not playing, he's not involved, he's a really good teammate.
Yes, exactly that, Biscuits.
Oh, chance.
So, no, not a chance. The ball got booted out and it hit our 5 Live presenter, Gavin Wallace, who was on his phone, not paying attention. Flash on the door.
Yeah, big Gav through there beside Al at Tynecastle. Let's round up some goals for you just coming in. So Nottingham Forest equalised at home to Manchester United. Morgan Gibbs-White on 48 minutes, and 2 minutes later went ahead Savona. So Nottingham Forest 2, Manchester United 1. Yes, Al.
Surely, 3-0. Kabori again. It's a brilliant hit for Spittle. What a move from Hearts. It's played square to Spittle. He hits it. What a save from McCracken onto the bar, but it just drops out. Kabori, there he's there, knocking into the back of the net. 3-0 Hearts.
Yeah.
What a hit, Spittle.
Oh, it's a brilliant hit, but I've seen Spitz do that so many times, but it's an incredible save from McCracken onto the post. But then the ball, and to be fair to Kabori, it's not an easy chance. He makes it look really, really simple, but it's coming back up at some pace and a decent finish just to get into the net. But again, Alan, you're right. Fantastic move. Shankland in the little pocket of space again. Good play to Spittle. Great save, and then it looks like a tap in, and it is. It's an open goal, but I tell you what, that's an easier chance because you've already scored in the game.
But I was thinking that's not that easy, is it?
But he scored one. Hearts are playing well. He's confident. It becomes an easier chance.
Right, so let me just round up.
I'm taking a touch there all day long.
For Hill. Right, so another goal.
That's a goal at Gayfield.
Right, yes, Tyrone.
And it's another goal for Arbroath, who've been utterly dominant since the interval. It's Jacob McIntyre. He picked the ball up about 15 yards out and he just drilled it low into the net. It's no less than they deserve. They've been utterly dominant since the break here at Gayfield, where it's now Arbroath 2, Ross County 0.
I want to get Richard's opinion on this in a couple of minutes' time. They just can't seem to get going this season, Ross County. Let me just round up the scores. Right, a few goals coming in. So I gave you the goals down in England. Also Crystal Palace 2, Brentford 0, Nathan Collins in 51. Inverness Cali Thistle 1, Montrose 0, Chanka Zimba with that one on 49 minutes. Just confirmation within the video print of that second goal that Willie brought us from McDermott Park. Second for Sidibe. St Johnson 2, Airdrie 0. Clyde 2, Dumbarton 1, James Hilton on 50 minutes. Elgin City 2, Annan Athletic 0, Ryan Sargent on 53 minutes. And just confirmation of that second goal for Kabori at Tynecastle. Hearts 3, Dundee 0. They are 9 points clear of Celtic at the top of the table. Just in terms of Ross County, Richard, it's just been it's been such a poor start to the season. We just think they got a good win like they did last week, albeit Neil Lennon was absolutely furious. And here they are today.
Yeah, and that probably sums up the season. Just the poor start, the inconsistency. There's no. We're talking about Falkirk and we're talking about Hearts in terms of the momentum and the feel-good factor around these clubs. There's just that nervousness at Ross County. They've not really blown anyone away in a game. I mean, they've got, Don was in there to start with, and I know Don very well. Like, good guy, good coach, good person. They've now, sadly lost his job, but they bring in Tony Dock and Cam Davison, two, such knowledge of the game. Both very, very good coaches. Both good, man-to-man motivators. But there's just something missing in it. It's, we always talk about how difficult that championship is. It's not an easy league, and I just think the poor start has really, really hampered them, and it stopped them getting any kind of momentum in the league. And even when they do get that one win, it's not like they're winning it comfortably or they're growing in confidence. It's like they're nicking a game, and they're probably that far away that they've probably given up winning the league by now.
Yeah, he thinks another goal.
Sorry, Foz.
No, mate.
Goal at Livingston, Kenny, 2-1 Hibs. Just a breakaway, really. Boyle involved, then Chawal's involved. He drives down the channel, cuts it back, and you'll need to help me out. I think it ends up being Martin Boyle.
I think it's
right
Boyle, yeah.
He was just initially involved, Julie. He started, he had a wee run, almost thought he could get a free kick. Then Chawal gets involved. He's been really quiet, actually. He's turned the ball over at times. I think he expects maybe a second or two too long on the ball, but just comes across the face of the goal. Boyle on hand, a wee bit of ricochet, and then snap finish. 2-1 the Hibees.
Yeah, we're just getting the replay just now, and as the ball comes across, you can see Boyle just drifts into a good position in the box, and he takes his touch, he turns, and it's an easy finish in the end for him. But it's his positioning which is ideal. He's not picked up by anyone, he just kind of ghosts into the box, and the Livingston back line haven't gone with him, and it's a left foot finish.
I tell you what, Julie, he takes an incredible touch there.
Do you think that was... I was looking at that, I think it was meant.
I don't think the first touch is...
If he means that...
I don't think he does.
I played with Boyle, there's no way he meant that.
I don't think he does.
Honestly, it lands perfect for him.
It sits
and
up nice.
the ball's fizzed in as well. But I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say he meant that.
Well, listen, it was fantastic, whatever it was.
That too.
What's he like as a character, Kev?
He's a great character. I still remember being in the changing room when he asked, he had an opportunity to go to Hibs. Obviously at Dundee, under Paul Hartley, wasn't really playing. And then obviously I played with him a second time when I went back to Hibs, obviously under Alan Stubbs. And same, he probably never played as much in the Championship as he wanted to. But obviously over the last 5 or 6 years, he obviously had his wee stint away, his stint back. He's obviously in the 100 goals for, or the 100 goal club, should I say. But an infectious character, a real good lad.
Well, he's got Hibs ahead away at Livingston today. That goal coming on 55 minutes. Forth for Athletic have equalised away at Stranraer. Craig Slater on 61 minutes, 1 apiece there. So let's get to the game at the Falkirk Stadium. Anything at all from the wayside, Billy?
Well, plenty. I mean, they've created 3 opportunities.
I think it's offside. Flag goes up now. He scores. But I think he's well offside. You'll be able to tell me. It's a good finish.
Very good finish.
Goes across Steinvender into the other opposite corner, giving the keeper no chance.
He looked
offside.
It looks a good bit offside, but then we probably can't see the far away fullback.
I've made that mistake once already today.
Right, here we go.
Yeah, he's off. Miles off. He's offside there.
I think it's
off. Always wait on Kenny saying, is he though? Is he?
No,
he's on the pitch, Kenny. He's close to the line on the pitch and
I think Finlay in the centre-back position makes a really good decision just to step, or he'll be certainly hoping it's a good decision, but he steps just before the ball's released, which then kind of Murray's definitely behind him. It's just whether anyone else is playing him on.
Right, we're just waiting on that one. We're expecting offside. Yeah, the guy's called it correctly. Let's get back to Billy then.
Plenty, Kenny, as you said, and then I had to obviously let Alan go just for that goal chopped off. But Kelly had 3 really good attempts this second half. John Jules, Dees had a great shot, and then Thompson, and they pushed it a few moments ago when Brown crossed, and it looks as if Anderson was going to get head in the net, and Falkirk got a head on it, but Kilmarnock sort of responding. They had to, because they showed nothing in that first half, but they've shown a lot more and created a few chances.
Billy.
Yeah, they've got to a back 5 again, what they're used to, and Thompson and Brown are getting forward in the wing back areas, Jules. So they're more comfortable with it. They are showing and they're looking a threat again, but can't get a breakthrough.
See, the thing is, Dodgy, Falkirk goalie's made saves. Yeah, I don't, the Kilmarnock goalie never, hasn't covered himself in glory. I know he's a young kid, I don't want to just blame him because he didn't offer much in the half.
Yeah, the crowd are having a little, every time it goes to him all the way, they're having a little, put them under pressure, put it that way. Falkirk on the break again, Calvin Miller's picked up, bent it just over the bar. So that's Falkirk's first effort in this half, but you're right, Foz, the Kilmarnock goalkeeper has had a tough time today.
Right, Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 0, Hearts 3, Dundee 0, Livingston 1, Hibs 2, Martin Boyle, the second goal for Hibs through there at Ammanvale. Let's get into the Championship. We're covering all 4 games for you today. Let's start with the league leader, St Johnstone, home to Airdrie, and get an update from Willie Miller.
No, Kenny, they've kind of switched the off button, to be perfectly honest, since they got that second goal. Have the league leaders, it's all been about Airdrie. Airdrie has been taking the game to St Johnstone. Not created anything, no, but St Johnstone have been on the back foot rather than on the front foot going forward. So from that point of view, a little bit disappointing, but 2 excellent goals from Adama Sidibe. The first one, the header, wasn't a perfect header, but it ended up in the back of the net. And the second one was a well-worked move down the left-hand side. Jamie Gullen cutting it back for Sidibe, and Sidibe, coming from a deeper position, just opened his side foot and slotted into the back of the net. Really calm finishing from the striker that looks to be in form. So at this moment in time, it's 2-0 St Johnstone. Looks as though it's going to stay that way, although St Johnstone have really fallen back and not done enough going forward since he'd got that second goal.
Right, let's get to Firhill. About 10 minutes behind the rest of the games today because of that serious looking injury in the first half. Ian McCall, but the home side in total control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just before you came to me, Kyle Turner on at half-time for the goal scorer Ben Stanley, who I think picked up a little knock. Tony Watson, a marvellous bit of skill and just chipped it into the box, and Kyle Turner's rattled the header off the bar right at this minute. Queens look reasonably dispirited, and I think it's a matter of how many Thistle will score. I tell you what, a fixture to look forward to is when St Johnstone. I don't know when it falls, but when St Johnstone come to Firhill, it'll be some game.
Right, I'll have a look at that one. Yeah, it'll be an open attacking game. Both sides play really good football. Wraith Rovers in a decent run of form there at home to Morton this afternoon. What's happening, Chick?
Yeah, it's still 1-0 to the home side. The second there, a bit of a mix-up in the Morton defence. Jackson Longridge could have left the ball. I think the goalkeeper was scheming for it, coming into his arms. He just hooked it away. Is it Wraith Rovers that chance across the box? It's going to be dealt with by the goalkeeper that time, yeah, and it was getting into the goalkeeper's arms. He gave away a corner kick needlessly. They've made a couple of changes for the Rovers. Ewan Wilson and Josh Mullen have come on to replace Paul McMullen, Lewis Stevenson, who have gone off. Still 1-0 to the home side. Morton are battling away, but they just can't get a threat, can't get a chance in the box, although some good football, some good possession play by them, but they just can't get to the killing grounds of the football pitch and torment the goalkeeper. Still 1-0 to the Rovers.
Let's get to Gayfield. Arbroath at home to Ross County, another home side in control here. Tyrone Smith.
Yes, it remains Arbroath 2, Ross County 0. It's a really miserable afternoon so far for the visitors. The only positive for them, I guess, is that they aren't even further behind. That's because, I don't think I'm exaggerating here to say, Arbroath have been absolutely rampant in this second half. They've created chance after chance after chance. In fact, Nikolai Todorov, he just spurned the latest of them. His powerful shot stinging the palms of Trevor Carson. As I say, it looks like a really long way back for Ross County, when it's Arbroath 2, County 0.
Yes, we've got a goal, Billy.
Sorry, Tyrone, by the way, it's been flagged offside. It's another tight one because I watched the run. He might just have been off, but it was really tight. A good pass. I think it was Tiffany picking up in the midfield. Slip Anderson through. He goes through, slots it past Bain. Commander been shown better this second half, but the flag goes up late.
I'm saying nothing. Richard?
I think he's just off. Just.
Another close one.
It's close.
I think I would go with just off though, would you?
I think when you look at the lines in the pit, yeah, I think he just looks like he's slightly offside. It's a good ball through, right enough.
Great finish, Julie.
And a wonderful finish, yeah.
Right, we'll just wait for Billy to give us a shout on that. Just on the championship, yourself from Tyrone there. So just looking at the live table in the championship, St Johnstone 30 points, Thistle 27. Arbroath.
Offside confirmed, Kenny.
Offside, thanks, Dodgy. Arbroath, what a fantastic season they're having. They're in third spot on the table, 21 points. Wraith Rovers, as things stand, they make up the playoff spots on 20. Dunfermline and United both on 18. They, of course, played down at Somerset Park last night. Ross County, 11 points as things stand. They're opening 13 games, a goal difference of -5. You look at the side that they were competing with for favouritism before a ball was kicked. St Johnstone, goal difference +17. Absolutely incredible. Morton 11, Queen's Park 10. Airdrie really struggling despite a good result last weekend. Bottom of the table there behind at the league leaders this afternoon. Into Scottish League 1, Alloa Athletic 3, Kelty Hearts 0, Cove Rangers 1, Peterhead 1, East Fife 0, Hamilton Accies 0, Inverness Caley Thistle 1, Montrose 0. A second half goal there for the home side. Queen of the South 1, Stenhousemuir 0. In League 2, Clyde 2, Dumbarton 1, Elgin City 2, Annan Athletic 0. A big game. Spartans 2, East Kilbride 0, Stirling Albion 0, Edinburgh City 1 and Stranraer 1. Forfar Athletic 1 in England. Brighton have just scored a second at home to Leeds United, 2-0 up there. Burnley 0, Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2, Brentford 0. Fulham also with a second goal at home to Wolves, 2-0 there. Wolves down to 10 men. Nottingham Forest coming from behind against Manchester United. Forest 2, Man United 1. 5:30 start. Spurs at home to Chelsea. Liverpool against Villa. That's 8 o'clock. Yes.
3-1. John Jules, I mean, they've been shown this half, they've had 3 efforts at goal, the goal chopped off, and then it's just a ball in from the right hand side from Brown. John Jules takes a touch, swirls and blasts into the net. Kilmarnock sort of right back at
it. Well put by Dodgy there. Right, while we look at this one, Julia's just coming back in to see the replays. A wee bit slower today, so just bear with us. Here we go.
It's actually a really good play by Watson in the middle of the pitch, turns really well, plays it to Tiffany, who just fires the ball in. And tell you what, the striker has got a lot to do there. And by the way, he definitely means that first touch, and then he scribbles in the finish. It's a good goal.
Yeah, because it's behind him, isn't it? So he's back to goal, and he reacts really quickly on the spin.
Right,
that's changes.
I'm just going to say, and the man that's coming on there, the man that had a wee niggle apparently.
Yeah, cue the song. It'll start, don't worry about that. The 3 changes for Derek McInnes. Off has gone Kabori, who scored 2 goals, Spittle and Milne, and on has come Kingsley, Braga and Magnuson, who I really like. I think he's a terrific young player. He's only 22, I think he is. Icelandic, 6'3". He'll score goals for Hearts from the middle of the park. There's my prediction.
We're on the telly in about 7 or 8 minutes time. BBC One Scotland right through until 5:25. The action continues on BBC Radio Scotland. The first of the League Cup semi-finals. Motherwell at home to St Mirren. I think both clubs have sold around about 8,500 tickets. Real expectation for both. The guys think it's too close to call. Full commentary to come on Sports, and of course we'll get the team news for you just after 5 o'clock, and we'll hear from both managers ahead of kick-off there at the National Stadium. The second semi-final tomorrow, that is Celtic at home to Rangers. Sports Sound is on air from midday. So Tyrese John Jules with that goal for Kilmarnock on 69 minutes. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1. Alan, when you look at the substitutions that Derek McInnes has been able to make there, you can just see the strength and depth that he's got, and he's got more players due to come in.
Hat-trick!
Well, here we go.
Sidibe with a hat-trick, left foot. Jimmy Gillan, lovely pass, finely weighted into the path of the striker. He gallops onto it at the angle, left side, puts it into the far corner. Magnificent finish from the man that's in form. Hat-trick for Sidibe, 3-0 St Johnstone.
Yeah, there's been times in the past, Julian, really touched on this earlier on, where they've not really had the options up the top of the pitch, but he's got so many attacking options, and the style of play now is suited to that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and a hard thing is trying to keep them all happy, but at the moment that seems to be the case, and long may that continue, because you want to try and different teams, you're up against different types of opposition, you might need a different style of striker, and I think when you do have those options at your disposal, it makes you a much stronger side.
Always like to see how the Scottish managers are doing down south in the Championship. He did really well, Alex Neil, at Millwall last season. They're away at Oxford tonight, this afternoon. They're 2-1 up away at Oxford United. Alan, just come back to yourself, that the strength and depth there that Derek McInnes has got now at Tynecastle.
Yeah, it has. When you look at the Carjota, who set the goal up against Hibs, he's on the bench. Forrest is there, Kabangu, Halkett, Craig Gordon, obviously Scotland international goalkeeper. Frankie Kent's not stripped. Aju is not stripped as well. Borkovic, the right back's there, and they're bringing in Chesnikov in the January window to strengthen them, and maybe even one more. So it's a very strong squad, and they're all now fighting. They all want to be in that starting 11. 3 changes were made today. They want all to be playing here, but Alan, as long as he can keep the team spirit. And Colin, I was just going to ask you about Milne. He's gone off today, but he has been brilliant.
I was going to ask you first of all, how's Braga's calf looking? Okay?
Magnificent. He just ran 60 yards with the ball at his feet.
Yeah, well, listen, Harry Milne's a great boy. I mean, I signed him after watching him once and watching him in the telly. I don't even remember he played at Easter Road. And I was amazed that your Hibs or your Hearts or particularly Aberdeen didn't go for him. It was pretty clear they could play beyond the level he was playing at, so it's couldn't happen to a nicer boy. He's been terrific.
Yeah, he's done really, really well for them there. Peterhead 2-1 up now away at Cove Rangers. Cammy Smith on 71 minutes, and perhaps a bit of a shock, he's 5-1. Hamilton Accies nil. Andy Munro on 74 minutes. Let's get back to the game at Allenvale. Hibs back in front there. Kevin Thompson, what's happening now?
Yeah, just a wee chat. Well, half a chance. Graham Carey down this right side, obviously lefty as well. Good cross at the back post of Bakir, just coming over the top. I think it was Grant Hanley gets over the top over Rocky Bashiri. Not much happening, to be honest, Kenny. 3 brilliant goals, but lots of long balls contested, lots of second balls, quite scrappy at times. But Hibs have got their noses in front, and it's going to be up to Livingston to try and peg them back.
Who's impressed you for Hibs this afternoon, Kevin?
To be honest, it's hard to get away from Jamie McGrath's goal. Kenny's obviously went off as well. Both teams have rung the changes. I don't think the substitution at half-time with Scott Pittman going off helps Livingston, to be honest. Obviously a forced one. Since then, Bowie's come on, Hoylett's come on, Nicky Cadden's come on the left. I don't think there's been anyone that's been a real standout, to be honest, Kenny. But I have to say, the 3 goals have been real top draw. The Livingston was a right slick move, probably the best passage of play we've seen. Hibs one was similar, and obviously 3 brilliant goals, but not real much quality overall within the game.
And it can happen to anyone, I think particularly strikers, but Bowie's just been off the boil, hasn't he, in recent weeks, Kevin?
Yeah, listen, he's obviously his heroics in Europe, that wonderful goal that he scored at Easter Road, you can see him even when he's on the pitch, Kenny. He's a powerful boy, he's a big lad. I'm not so sure he's ever going to be the neatest and tidiest. I don't think that's his game, but when it comes to, I was actually thinking Hibs might struggle a wee bit with physicality with Boyle and Clegy, because they're obviously both quite similar. I don't know if that Dave's recognised that, obviously dealing with lots of long balls. Hibs have been quite direct as well, to be fair, and obviously Bowie gives you that platform because he's a real physical specimen.
Right, let's just get a wee bounce around the ground. Actually, we'll just go on telly, so just hold fire on that for the next couple of minutes. We'll keep this in the studio because it's just a fluid situation in terms of our on-air time with television. Julie Fleeting and Richard Foster in the studio with me here today. And Julie, we asked you about the game at Tynecastle at the top of the programme, the opportunity that Hearts had today. But with that comes pressure, it comes expectation. It's been so comfortable, hasn't it?
It has. They've dominated the game from start to finish. I think Dundee have been forming that kind of low block and trying to make it really difficult for Hearts, but the movement off the ball has been exceptional from Hearts.
I think. Wait to see this move. They got a shot in the head, Magnuson gets a shot away, saved by the keeper, but it's been terrific from them. Really good stuff. Yeah,
and that only comes from the movement of the players in front. I think you can see every time somebody's picking the ball up, there's so many options for the player on the ball, and they're finding those little pockets. Although Dundee are making it difficult for them in defending with numbers, Hearts are just finding those gaps, and they move the ball so quickly. It's 1 and 2 touch a lot of the time, and they've completely dominated. They've looked comfortable from start to finish.
Yeah, and Hibs have got the noses in front as well, Richard, and also the game at Falkirk. I mean, a bit of a comeback from Kelly, but Falkirk seems to be in cruise control there.
Yeah, it's all, it's a difficult one for Falkirk to come back out second half and match the intensity they had in the first half. I think full credit for Kilmarnock, they changed their shape, they made 3 subs, they've definitely been better, they've increased the tempo of their play, and to be honest, for me it's a tale of 2 goalkeepers. Kilmarnock have come up against a goalkeeper who's made really, really good saves, 2 of which I can remember, especially one down to his left-hand side. The Kilmarnock goalie's made a few mistakes, and when you see for the second goal, when the defender should react, but see when someone hits a shot from 25 yards and you think the goalie's going to save it, you kind of switch off a wee bit, and that's what happened. And it's been tough for Kelly, but at the end of the day, Falkirk are absolutely flying, especially at home. The crowd are behind them. That's why I'm having to shout and lose my voice.
There is so much happening today. We're about to go on to television, so welcome to viewers who have joined us on BBC One Scotland. As ever, Scottish football is delivering so much drama today. Julie Fleeting and Richard Foster are alongside me in the studio. Some really important games this afternoon, and don't forget a League Cup semi-final also to look forward to later in the day. But let's get to the 3 o'clock kickoffs and get to Tynecastle. The league leaders Hearts up against Dundee. Alan Preston is there for us. Good afternoon to you, Alan. What's the latest?
It's Hearts 3, Dundee 0, Kenny, and the Hearts made 3 changes for the first time in 6 games, and after 30 minutes it was very even. Dundee actually had a shot from Congreve that was deflected onto the bar, but in 31 minutes Hearts took the lead. Milne picked out Shankland, his left foot shot, and at the bottom corner given McCracken no chance. 38 minutes it was 2-0. One of the 3 changes, Landry Kabore, he got onto a McEntee knockdown from a corner and hooked the ball into the net for 2-0, and in 56 minutes, just as I'm saying, there's another one. Magnuson's got a 4th. The 3rd one came in 56 minutes. Kabore again. Shankland, Spittle's shot was brilliantly saved by McCracken onto the bar, but it fell to Kabore, who knocked it home. Simple as the task, and they've just added another one there. Magnuson, one of the substitutes, just came on in swinging corner. Magnuson gets on the end of it. 4-0, easy street for Hearts. Have gone 9 clear.
Yeah, we'll just have a wee look at this one again. I know the referee, we've got all the games coming into the studio here, Richard. The referee's got his hand to his ear. The Dundee player's really unhappy about something. They're just getting a replay now.
The referee of his hand to ear happens every single goal. Maybe that he's offside, the guy in the goal.
It just depends whether Finley's over the line when he connects with the ball, because he looks like he's actually in the goal.
He does, yeah, you're right.
But it's just whether he gets a touch from been inside the goal or whether the ball is over the line already.
If you're Magnuson, you're raging if he's touched it, and the ball's going in anyway. Just leave it and it's a goal. But I don't think he's in the goal when he touches it. I think he taps it in, so I think this could be offside. And then Alan will be completely wrong because Magnuson didn't score.
Right. Well, let's get back to Alan, because Alan will just get the decision shortly. But regardless of that, Hearts are going to win this game today. We spoke at the top of the programme about the pressure that comes with expectation, the opportunity today to go 9 points clear. They've handled it with total ease, haven't they?
They have, and I think the statement was Kilmarnock a few weeks ago going down there and winning that game comfortably, and then again today. If you're going to be in title challengers, which I still think is a long shot for Hearts, you're going to have to win your home games, and it's been convincing, absolutely convincing. We're still waiting on a decision here. The referee is going to see. It'd be great for Magnuson, a young boy, if he can get his first goal, but if it's not to be, no, it's given. 4-0, definitely 4-0.
Yeah,
but
I think the ball's over the line when Finlay touches it, which is good because his teammates tried to take it from him. So he'll be delighted he's over the line before he makes contact.
Julie, what's really important as well here is the team spirit around Hearts, and we spoke about the changes today, and Cabori getting a start ahead of Claudio Braga, and when Cabori scored his first today, he went right over to the manager, a big embrace with Derek McInnes. I looked at the dugout behind him, and leading the celebrations there, Claudio Braga. Yeah,
I mean, it just shows you the spirit that they've got in their dressing room. I don't know how positive it would be if Finlay had stole that goal from Magnuson, but certainly at the moment they look like they're a real united team. They work really hard for each other. You can see at the moment, just watching the pictures, where they're not in possession of the ball, and every single player's working exceptionally hard to win the ball back. And I think when you, as a player on the pitch, when you look to your subs bench and they've got your back and they're really your biggest cheerleader, then it's a massive help for those players. And there was changes made today, and players on the bench who possibly would have hoped, or certainly would have hoped to have been in that starting 11 and weren't. They're certainly making an impact when they have came on the pitch. Just before we bounce around the ground, some more goals coming in. So Spartans 2, East Kilbride 1, Keir Foster with that goal on 75 minutes. There's been another goal for Arbroath in the Championship. We'll get to Tyrone Smith when we go round the Championship games, but Arbroath 3, Ross County 0, Taylor Stephen on 77 minutes. Really concerning times for Ross County and their supporters. Just confirmation of that fourth goal for Hearts. Thomas Magnuson on 79 minutes. Hearts 4, Dundee 0. Stranraer back in front at home to Forfar. Ryan Edgar with that goal on 81 minutes. Attitude right up to date with all the goal news. Let's then continue our bounce around the grounds. Next stop, Ammanvale Livingston at home to Hibs, and get the very latest from Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, both huffing and puffing, to be honest, Kenny. I thought there was going to be half a chance. Grant Hanley didn't quite anticipate the bounce. It bounces over. Bakir runs through and goal, and Rocky Bashiri actually thought he got a sore when he was flagging towards the bench, which is always a worry. But thankfully he's up. It didn't come for anything. Rocky Bashiri does brilliant to get back round, and I think he was almost only just 10 yards out. Brilliant defensive cover for the big man. But apart from that, Kenny, I don't see another goal coming, to be honest, unless it's a bit of magic, because both teams are kind of cancelling each other out. Oh no, and almost gave commentators trust there. He's almost in at the back post. But both teams have rung changes, Kenny. I think they're both going for it. It looks like Davy Martindale's going to have his last twist at the moment. I think it's Shinnie that looks like he's going to come on. I don't see another goal. I hope I'm wrong.
Kevin, it's been a real struggle for Livingston this season. What about Hibs, your former side? What have you made of the performance today? They were really disappointing midweek.
They've been quite direct, to be honest, Kenny. And I was initially surprised, because obviously I mentioned Kaliji and obviously Boyle up front, and both like to play on the shoulder. To be fair to Kaliji, he is good in the air. He's got a brilliant leap, which we obviously seen for the first goal. Now they've obviously got Bowie on. It gives them a different dimension, but both teams have been quite direct, Kenny. And I have to say the two midfield threes have probably had the lion's share of the game, because it's been really contested for the centre halves, and whatever's dropped into the middle of the pitch, both threes have kind of nullified each other, scrapped for it, and that's probably where the best opportunities of control have come from.
Right, Richard, viewers can make up their own minds tonight when they watch sports, and we're not sure it was the most magical touch from Martin Boyle for that second goal in 55 minutes, but it did look a bit special, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if he means the touch, it's outrageous. The ball's fizzed in at him, it's behind him, and he just tries to get something on it, and the ball just drops perfectly from the swivel and finish. Now, I'm just going to, I think I've been critical of Martin Boyle before, but on this occasion I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he meant that touch. He knew what he was doing. and he executed it perfectly well, and it was a fantastic goal.
Right, let's get to the Falkirk Stadium. Falkirk at home to Kilmarnock. What a game this has been, Billy Dodds.
Certainly has. It was it's Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1. Falkirk looked an easy street first half. Williams, McKeever and Miller giving them a 3-0 lead. It could have been a whole lot more. Kelly, well, they made 3 subs and go to a back 5, and it seems to suit them better than really making a fist of it this second half, because John Jules, Thompson and Dees have all tested goalkeeper Bain, and they got a breakthrough when it was good work down the right hand side by Watson and Tiffany. Ball in the box. John Jules took a lovely touch and slammed in the net. So they were back in it, and they have been pushing, I have to say, and it would have been interesting if they got a second goal, but Falkirk have calmed it a little bit now, but it's still Falkirk 3, Kelly 1.
That's a goal at Foothill.
Right, Ian McCall.
It's been coming. It's now Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 0. Comfortable. Latosa broke down the right hand side. He's crossed it in, and Logan Chalmers is there just to tap it into an empty net. A minute before, Samuel had crashed one off the underside of the bar for the home side, but I think Logan Chalmers has now put the game beyond doubt. It's Partick Thistle 3, Queen's Park 0.
Right, we'll go back to Ian. That game's about 10 minutes behind. There was a serious injury in the first half, but we've got the pictures coming into the studio here. Let's get back to Amon Vale. A very tight decision there, Kevin Thompson.
Yeah, really close, Kenny. I got the first 2 in the first half right, because I anticipated them both being offside. There was obviously an initial foul. I did think the first one, the Grant Hanley one, was offside as well. It was a foul. This time Milligan just drifts inside. Bowie makes a brilliant run inside the box. It's almost toe-poked through to him, and then he just swivels the big striker, hits target far in the bottom corner, but we can just see, it's really close.
I think he's on.
Really
You've got to feel sorry for the linesman in a situation like that. There's so many players.
Yeah, I think he just does a wee swivel, doesn't he? Pirouettes and then finishes right foot into the bottom corner.
You've not got many right.
I've not got many. You need to see that again, because I want to know which part of the defender's playing him onside.
Sometimes the angle that we're seeing it at, though, is not really realistic to be able to make that call. So
I know, but
I'm trying to help you out.
I know you are, and I've made a nonsense of it so far, but I'd nail my colours to the mast early. I don't know. I should just wait.
There's been some tight calls today. Let's get back to.
Look at, you can see the lines. They're touching. I thought the lines
so
went onside.
That is so tight. Watch that one in sports scene tonight. Let's get back to Billy Dodds, because Billy, I'm really interested in this performance from Falkirk today. They've taken the step up with absolute ease, haven't they?
They have, and I mean, they'll go on to 15 points if they win this one. It'll maybe get them into the top 6. They have been sensational, especially first half. They've had to dig in a little bit this second half. Credit to Kelly, they've come out and they've had a go and they've created a few opportunities, got a goal back, but then they've shown another side to Falkirk where they've had to dig in and make sure they get through that period, and they did, and now they look comfortable to go and see this one out. But that first half performance, Kenny, it was 3-0 and it was going on 5, 6, 7. It was sensational.
Yeah, it was sensational, but to try and put some balance on it, Julie, we're chatting about this earlier on, quite a few injury concerns for Stuart Kettlewell, and the goalkeeper hasn't covered himself in glory today.
No, I mean, really difficult for a young boy to come in to this level of football, and I think that seems to have been a kind of turning point for Kilmarnock. I watched them earlier in the season against St Mirren and they were flying. It was a brilliant performance, a great victory for them, but over the last 3 or 4 games they haven't looked like the same side. It is unsettling when you do lose your goalkeeper, and certainly bringing in a youngster who's still to find his feet in the game. Certainly has made a few mistakes, but this is a learning curve for a young goalkeeper. Kilmarnock don't want to hear that, because they need to win games, they need points, but for the young goalkeeper, you hope he can bounce back quick enough.
Let's hope so. And I have to say, all credit to Falkirk. It's such a good news story. Sell out every single week at the Falkirk Stadium, and a fantastic style of play.
Foothill Stadium.
Right, let's go back to Ian McCall.
It's now Partick Thistle 4, Queen's Park 0. It's the absolute opposite of the third goal. Logan Chalmers drives down the left wing, fires in the cross, and the provider of Logan Chalmers' goal, Latosa, was at the back post to slam it into the net. I mean, they're in total control. So the score's now Thistle 4, Queen's Park 0.
Ian, just stay with us briefly for people just joining us on television. You're about 10 minutes behind there because of a serious looking injury in the first half.
Yeah, although I hope it's not too serious, but it was one of the ones, Kenny, it was on the Queen's Park centre back, Charlie Fox, who's had a history of real tough injuries, and it was right in front of me. He went with the ball with Tony Watt, and I think it looked like his knee kind of stuck in the turf rather than an impact injury. It makes me think it may be really serious. I mean, the boy was in real distress. I mean, the game was held up for a good 10 minutes, so let's hope it's not too serious.
Yeah, let's hope. We'll hopefully get an update on that for you. So Partick Thistle applying some pressure to the league leaders St Johnstone, Willie Miller, but the leaders are responding in fine fashion.
Yeah, they're flying here in Perth, Kenny. It's been a really top-notch performance from St Johnstone. I would say first 10-15 minutes even. After that, it's been a performance where they've totally dominated. And of course, Adama Sadibi, they've been able to get his hat-trick. Three very well-taken goals. The first one, you know, a header. The other two with the feet. The third one was a pick of the bunch. It was a laser strike down the left-hand side. Jamie Gullen, who's been outstanding in the midfield today as well. Perfect pass just into the path, and he drilled it into the far corner. So they're galloping to the 3 points here. Airdrie have not put up much resistance, to be perfectly honest. But as far as staying at the top of the table, it's looking good. They will be there. And I'll tell you what, they're going to take some shifting if they perform like this. 3-0.
Thank you to Willie Miller. It's really interesting below the top two there in terms of the race for playoff spots. Let's get to Starks Park. Raith Rovers are at home to Morton, and hear from Chick Young.
87 minutes have come and gone, and the one goal was the difference in the moment. It came from Jack Hamilton after 40 minutes, cross from Doherty, and it was a fine header from Hamilton, put it beyond the goalkeeper. I have to say, in the last 10 minutes or so, Morton have battled to get back into this. They've used all 5 substitutions. Dougie Emery is going crazy down there, trying to get his players to come forward and create a chance that would maybe lead to a late equaliser. Raith Rovers hanging on a little bit, and this is a big result for Rovers because it pushes them into one of the promotion places, playoff places, as we stand in the league at the moment. And Morton are just parachuting into more trouble at the bottom. They're desperate to get this equaliser pushed. All sorts of players forward now, wave after wave of attack from the Greenock side. They just can't get the ball to torment the goalkeeper, Josh Ray, in the Rovers goal. It is with Kenny, just 2 minutes left to play plus time added on, if there's any, and it remains at Raith Rovers 1, Morton 0.
Yes, Chick said with that victory, if they hang on, Rovers into 4th spot, the last of the playoff places, just above them on 21 points. This is a remarkable story. Arbroath, the part-time side, they're at home to one of the title favourites before a ball was kicked this season, Ross County, but it is not going to plan for the men from the Highlands. Let's now hear the report from Tyrone Smith.
Yes, Arbroath, it's fair to say, have blown Ross County away in the Gayfield wind this afternoon. It's 3-0 to Arbroath as we take into added time in the second half. They were 1-0 up at the break. A fantastic Harry Cochrane curling effort from 25 yards. They doubled their lead early in the second half. Jacob McIntyre even capitalising on some dreadful county defending to slot the ball into the net. And then on 76 minutes it was game over. Taylor Stephen was played in. He bore down in goal before slotting the ball under Trevor Carson to put the hosts on easy street. No less than they deserve. They've created chance after chance in this second half at Gayfield, where it's Arbroath 3, Ross County 0.
Full time in Perth, and it's St Johnstone 3, Airdrie 0.
Thank you to Willie Miller. We'll get more from Willie, but a comprehensive performance there from the home side. Alan Preston.
Braga, almost great save by McCracken. He's played his part, but really good move. Hearts up. The second half, they've absolutely hammered Dundee. Hammered them. They've never been up the park. Dundee's been a real struggle for them after that opening 20 minutes in the first half. It's been total domination.
Yes, let's get back to Amundvale.
There could be a potential handball. Referee coming over. Penalty already, Paul, you say that?
He's going early today.
I need to redeem myself. I'm double or nothing here.
Right, here we go. It's a big call.
Time at Tynecastle. Hearts go 9 points clear.
Good stuff. Thanks, Alan Preston.
Full time, Kenny. It's finished. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1. A huge 3 points.
Here. And a huge moment at Amundvale. Right, here we go.
Callum Scott looking.
His hands out.
I think it's Danny Finlayson at the back post.
Goal!
Kieran Bowie.
It's a goal!
Yes.
Morton had equalised.
Nicky Cadden there, Mulligan there.
90 minutes gone, and Morton Morton have equalised. Corner kick the left hand side, swung in. I'm not very sure who got the final touch, but I'll tell you right now, they have equalised. It is Wraith Rovers 1, a blow for them. Morton 1, a boost for them.
Yeah, just a minute ago they were sitting comfortably in 4th spot. That is now in serious jeopardy. Late drama there at Start Spark, and late drama. Kevin Thompson through Ammonvale.
Yeah, late drama, Ken. It's a penalty. Callum Scott's seen enough. Yes. I'm not quite sure with the footage who it come off. It was definitely Danny Finlayson at the back post for Livingston.
Who was
Nicky
it?
Cadden
It was
that come
Nicky
off.
Cadden, yeah. Julie's had a look.
Graham Kearney, all the pressure is on Kenny. Left peg, we know he's got a wonderful left peg. He's had a good few crosses into the box actually in the second half. The pressure is on, steps up.
Here we go, big moment.
Goal, oh what a penalty. What a penalty. Just lifts it, not quite in the top corner. Goalkeeper's side, probably the safer side for a lefty. The game on now, enough to say, Kenny, Livingston have been pushing this last 5-10 minutes, Hibs soaking it up. Are we going to get a winner?
Right, I think out the two people in the studio about taking penalties, I'll ask Julie about that when that was
I wouldn't ask any of the three of us, to be honest, Kenny.
It was a brilliant penalty. He gets such great technique, Kerry, hasn't he?
He does. He strikes a lovely ball and so confident as he steps up. Goalkeeper goes the right way, but there's absolutely no chance he's going to get to it. It's a lovely penalty right into the side netting.
And perhaps role reversal here. Yes.
It's Chris Moore with the header there. A dramatic, what a time added on. The 90th come and gone corner in the left side. And Chris Moore with the header. Magnificent beyond them, beyond the goalkeeper. And it is one each. And what a dramatic conclusion this match.
Yeah, that goal coming in the 91st minute.
Just watching there, David Martindale on the touchline. And we've talked already on the show about losing late goals in Livingston, and Livingston, I think, was it 4 games they've lost a goal after the 90th minute. So he's adamant, he's getting his team together, trying to get them to regroup, switch on, be concentrated, because now the shoe's on the other foot. They've managed to get that late goal and they need to hang on at this moment in time. So it's about managing the game from a Livingston point of view.
Just look at the table, and it makes for confusing reading because Hibs are in 3rd spot, Richard. You're 15 points, but so have Rangers, so have Falkirk, Motherwell 14 points. They're, of course, in League Cup semi-final action today. But it still feels to me as if Hibs haven't really got going this season.
Yeah, and I suppose that's credit to Hibs in the way they played at the second half of last season, and the fact that they're still in that position in the league, and we haven't really seen them hit the form they did last year, only bodes well for David Gray and his side, because it's very, very difficult when you're looking up. We spoke about Ross County and the position there and how hard it is to get any momentum. Now, Hibs are maybe not getting the momentum in terms of performance, but they're still getting enough from games, enough wins, enough draws to get themselves up the league. I mean, it's a strange league in the sense that I think 3 wins or 3 or 4 wins is the most for any other team outside Celtic and Hearts. So it's strange in that respect anyway, but I just think it only bodes well for Hibs, because when they do eventually come good, which I think they will, they can go and push on it and push for that 2nd, 3rd and 4th spot.
Yeah.
Kenny starts Park, it finishes Rovers 1, Morton 1, and that's made a huge difference to Rovers in terms of getting themselves into 12th place.
Also a late equaliser at Palmerston, Queen of the South 1, Stenhousemuir 1, Ross Taylor with that goal on 93 minutes. The camera, Kevin Thompson, just panned to the dugout there. Davy Martindale going absolutely nuts, just as Julie was saying, trying to get his players to concentrate now, because we've spoken about the late goals they've lost. They need now to hang on to this.
Yeah, I love him, Kenny, I do. I love his emotion. He's obviously got Big Marv there, Hastings there, obviously his lieutenants really, but yeah, they're going to have to need to defend. Oh no, they're not going to need to defend the box. Oh, he's glued for full time, Kenny. I thought it was going to be much longer. That's controversial. Finishes 2-2.
Yeah, that's a big point for Livingston, no doubt at all about that. So what we're going to do, we're going to go around the grounds for you. We will do the classified, we'll do the tables, and then we will cross to Hampden Park, the first of the League Cup semi-finals. Motherwell at home to St Mirren. It's a 5:30 start, full coverage on BBC Radio Scotland. So let's then get to the first of our commentary matches this afternoon. Hearts at home to Dundee, the league leaders coasting it against Stephen Presley's side through there at Tynecastle. Let's hear from our commentary team there this afternoon, Rob McLean and Ryan Stevenson.
Yeah, Kenny, the Maroon Machine powers on, and 11 games into this Premiership season, Hearts almost unbelievably, have a 9-point lead. They pull further clear of Celtic on the back of a hugely emphatic performance here against Dundee, who looked to be very much in it for the first 20-25 minutes, managing to put together some pretty nice football, Stephen Presley's team. But eventually Lawrence Shankland rifled in a left footer off the inside of the post to break the deadlock after a stunning Schwolow save down at the other end. Landry Kabori scored to make it 2 before half-time, his first goal for the Tynecastle team, and he enjoyed it so much he did same again on the other side of the interval. A spittle shot producing a wonder save from McCracken, but it came back off the post, and the Burkina Faso international tapped in for his second goal of the game. Thomas Magnusson, the young Icelander, scored his first goal for Hearts in the second half as Dundee were simply blown away, and Derek McInnes and his team moved further clear at the top of the Premiership.
Ryan Stevenson alongside Rob there at Tynecastle. Ryan, we chatted before kick-off and a couple of Hearts fans on, asked them how excited they were. You were saying you were trying to rein your emotions in a wee bit, but what did you make of that performance today?
Oh, it was absolutely outstanding. I think, as Rob said, Dundee actually started the game kind of reasonably well, and then it all sort of hinged on that save from the Hearts goalkeeper. It was outstanding. And then 60 seconds later, Lawrence goes up the park, and it's again another outstanding finish from Lawrence, which we've sort of grown to expect. But I mean, through the main, I genuinely cannot remember Hearts playing as good as that the full time that I've been retired. And probably even, 100% the time that I was here, we never played like that. But they were absolutely outstanding.
Where are you in a title challenge, Ryan? Where are you right now? Come on.
No, listen, we're in it. I think, as I said, I'm trying my hardest because I just think to myself, it's Celtic and Rangers. I know obviously Rangers are further down, but it's Celtic. They've been so dominant for the last 14-15 years. And then we get to Christmas, everyone sort of starts to go into uncharted waters because Derek hasn't been in that sort of situation before. But listen, he's an amazing manager. I'm watching fans coming in here before the game and they're high-fiving each other, and the energy in the place is so positive. And then you think to yourself, which I do at times, I think, it'll be a hard game against Dundee, and will the players be able to step up to the mark? And I mean, they just did. Every single one of them, the ones that came on did. The ones that started did. I mean, it is just, yeah, do you know what? Yeah, we've got a chance.
Right, OK, Alan Preston is also there for us today. So, Alan Preston, where are you? And I'm wondering if we can get you and Ryan in that Claudio Braga song before the programme ends today.
Over by Christmas. Nah, it's a long way. Kenny, it was put to me this week, we're 7 miles into a marathon, and that's the case. It is. It's a long way to go. A lot of points to be played for. Celtic will certainly get better. The argument a few weeks ago was, can Hearts finish second, which was more likely, and I think that's a real possibility. You know, I really do. I think they've been terrific. I listened to Ryan there, and I've got to agree with him. Hearts today were sensational after an opening 15-20 minutes with Dundee. Was stuffy and hard to break down, had that good chance with Congreve, a deflected hit, but apart from that, you know, they were never really in the game, and Hearts dominated, scored 4, could have scored more. Derek gave players a rest, they brought other players on that hadn't been getting game time. Magnusson, as I said in the commentary, he will score goals, and he never let me down. He came on and scored a goal. It was just an all-round brilliant performance. They'll roll on to Dundee United at home next week. A real tough game again, but it's home. The crowd will be here, they'll be buoyant, they'll be up for it. But it's a long way to go, and I will not be singing the song. I'll sing it every day in the car, but I won't be singing it on air.
One day we'll get there. Listen, Ryan, I'm sure we'll do it. We'll get there just shortly, because we're on television until about 25 past. Perhaps we will get Derek McInnes live for you. He must be absolutely buzzing, the Hearts manager. A very different story for their City neighbours today. Hibs conceding a late goal at Almond Vale against Livingston. Kevin Thompson there for us. A fantastic point for the home side. But let's focus on Hibs first of all, Kevin. Another frustrating day for them?
Yeah, I think just in the manner of how they concede in the end, obviously you run the risk when balls going into your box, Kenny, Danny Finlayson at the back post, and then it goes to obviously to VAR, and Callum Scott rightly obviously points to the spot, and then Graham Kearney obviously gets probably in the end the last 10-minute push, a well-deserved point for Livingston. But I think the way Hibs started with the front force of Kaliji and Martin Boyle, with the control that they had after a brilliant start, a wonderful finish for Jamie McGrath. You won't see a better strike on his left peg, and it all come from nothing really. But I think Dave and his players. I'm only obviously in the main stand looking across at the Hibs fans when the players kind of go round after the game, and you could see a wee bit subdued. You could see the body language of the Hibs players. So I certainly think they'll feel as though it's 3 points dropped today.
Yeah, such an important point for the home side today, Julie. We spoke about their troubles and a dreadful run of form, but perhaps just something now to build on. Yeah, and I think previously Livingston have been really tough to break down at home, but that hasn't quite been the case. They had lost the 3 home games prior to that, so really important they got something out the game. They didn't want to start drifting away from the rest of the sides in the league, and also the fact that they did get that late goal and they had been on the other side of it in numerous times during numerous games this season will have given them a bit of confidence that they have managed to manage that game. Not only have they managed to see out the game, but they've managed to get a late goal as well, and they'll be they'll be hoping that they can start moving forward from now. No such worries for the fellow promoted side, Falkirk. They have been terrific this season. Another great performance this afternoon at home to Kilmarnock. Let's get the full-time report from Billy Dodds.
Yeah, all the damage was done in the first half here, Kenny. Williams, McKeever, Miller put the Bairns 3-0 up at half-time. The first came in 7 minutes when a Miller pass just set Williams through, went round the goalkeeper and popped it into the net, and there was a late VAR check and it was tight, but the goal was rightly given. They went 2-0 up in 22 minutes when a Wilson strike, Owiemi, he spilled it and McKeever just bundled it into the net. He was the first to react, as all good strikers do. It was 3 and it was easy, and it was all too routine for Falkirk. Graham flicked a long ball on. Williams picked up a nice pass to Miller, who slammed in an angled finish. Into the second half, Kelly made 3 changes and went to a back 5, and it seemed to work for a while. They did respond. Dees had a goal chopped off, rightly so, when fouling the goalkeeper, and then John Jules, Dees and Thompson all tested goalkeeper Bain, and he brought off a few good saves. Anderson then also had a ball in the net that was chopped off when he was a tight call, just slightly offside, and they did get a consolation Kilmarnock 20 minutes from time. A good move, finish off by John Jules after good play from Watson and Tiffany down the right, but it was all too little too late. Kelly showed a response second half, but left themselves a mountain to climb. Falkirk deserved winners, and up to 5th it finished here. Falkirk 3, Kilmarnock 1.
Billy, just before you leave, as you say, up to 5th, it's a fantastic story. They climb through the league, sell out every single week there at the Falkirk Stadium. What's key to their success on the park this season, do you think?
Belief, an attacking style of play, and the crowd play a massive part here. Even when Kelly were having a spell second half and pushed them back, the crowd just got right behind them and sort of got them through that. But it's an attacking style. I was worried about them early on in the season when they were giving away a few too many goals and all too easily, but they've seemed to show that up a little bit. They still play that attacking style, and boy, did these fans get right behind them.
Yeah, it's a great story. Thanks to Billy Dodds. We'll cross Motherwell and St Mirren fans. Stay tuned. We'll cross to the National Stadium. We'll get the team news for you. We'll hear from the managers. We'll look through the tables as well. But for now, let's do the classified results for you. Some really interesting score lines right across the country this afternoon, all brought to you on Sports Sound on BBC Scotland. So